top5rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Friday live stream, another one. I feel like the last like 3 or 4 live streams I've started and I've been missing something. One time there was shit playing in the background. Another time, like a bunch of times, I forgot to turn the light on and I turned the light on. Sometimes I don't have the, little pixel board in the background going. I think we're good today though. I took a couple extra minutes to get everything set up and get everything on point. South 734 Jimmy in the chat, food on the way. Yeah, get your food ready. Y'all know I don't like to keep y'all here too long. A lot of times, my goal for the live streams is 1 hour. Sometimes we go 1:30. One time we went like 3 hours. But I don't try to, I'm not academics. I'm not DJ Academic. DJ Academic's got way more skill at this than me. He goes 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, 10 hours sometimes. I'm a cool like a little 1 hour. So anyways, yeah, if you guys noticed there was no live stream last week, let me make sure. I don't know why I'm so paranoid to make sure that I'm good today. Okay, we're good. See, I have the live stream playing on an iPad that's like right in front of me just to make sure everything's okay. Denise in the chat says everything looks good. Okay, good. I think it's because I didn't have a live stream last week and because I was on vacation. So it kind of feels like I haven't live streamed like in a month, but I've only not live streamed in 1 week. But yeah, I went on vacation. We went to Palm Springs, Ritz-Carlton. It was very nice. It was very hot. It was about 110, 115 degrees in Palm Springs. Like, bro, it was like 100 degrees at night. Like, we went to the swimming pool like at 1 a.m. It was still like 100 degrees, oven type deal. But it was nice though. We was inside most of the time. So anyways, shout out everybody in the chat. I'm sure y'all know from the title of the video what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be going over that Lupe Fiasco Part 2. So this is like Part 2 of Lupe speaking about Kendrick. I've done so many videos on these topics. Maybe I can pull some up. And maybe also during this live stream, we can react to some of my early Lupe versus Kendrick reactions. It's really not Lupe versus Kendrick. It's just Lupe talking about Kendrick because like Kendrick never mentions him. I will preface it by saying like Lupe is, for me, top 3 rappers of all time in terms of my favorites, top 3. Kendrick is also top 3. So there's really like there's bias, but I like them both. So there's like no heavy bias towards one way or the other. Lupe, Kendrick, Jay-Z, that's my top three. So if you guys look here, you'll see some of my videos. I did one 9-10 days ago. And I've done one 3-4 years ago. And I kind of just talk about the times where Lupe is talking about Kendrick. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that, right? Sean in the chat says Lupe's in my top 5 as well. Yeah, Lupe. One thing about Kendrick fans, really every fan. I made a video like Kendrick fans are toxic and all this, but I kind of explained what I meant more in the video. And every fan base has this like weird toxic underbelly. But one thing I don't like that some Kendrick fans do is, when you have Lupe say these things about Kendrick, they try to pretend like Lupe is and was not that guy. No, Lupe is and was that guy. Like Lupe, before Kendrick came on the scene, if you were looking for that type of music, lyrical rap with a message that's not corny, I'll say it again. Before Kendrick came on the scene, if you were the type of listener that was looking for, like, let's say you didn't want to listen to mainstream rap, you didn't want to listen to Lil Wayne all the time, or you didn't want to listen to, Mano or whoever else was mainstream at the time. If you wanted lyrical rap with a message that was not corny, before Kendrick, Lupe was the guy you went to. Lupe is perfectly fine with that as long as you give it to Kendrick. Yeah, so I think we can kind of go over this video. This is like one of my earlier videos. One, I'm hesitant to go over this video because one, I didn't have a haircut in this video, so I'm looking grizzly. And two, it's like when I did videos in my car, so it's not like the best quality, but it's good to see where we came from, you know what I mean? But first, the first thing I want to do was I wanted to look at some of these clips from, I think this is the latest interview that Charlemagne has done. If I can go fact check that. What is this YouTube? See the guy? Yeah, 12 hours ago. So yeah, this is his latest interview. And this is where it's kind of Big Sean talking about his beef with Kendrick Lamar. And there are a bunch of other clips, but I'm going to focus on the Kendrick stuff because it kind of follows what we're talking about with the Lupe versus Kendrick. And then we're going to get to this Curtis King. Shout out to Curtis King. We're going to get to this Curtis King interview about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. So, yeah, we'll start here. Kendrick is a better rapper, artist than Lupe. Lupe is a better lyricist. See JPK 2000 in the chat. I go back and forth. I go back and forth with that. Like I said, Lupe and Kendrick are like in my top 3. And they're right next to each other. Like really Jay-Z's number 1 for me because Jay-Z's lyrically, like it's insane. And in terms of albums, it's insane. But some days I'll put Lupe over Kendrick. Some days I'll put Kendrick over Lupe. Some days I'll say like, yo, between Kendrick and Lupe, my favorite album between all of their albums is Food and Liquor by Lupe. But some days I'll be like, nah, I actually like Section 80 more. Some days I'll be like, no, I think I listen to Good Kid, Mad City again. Some days I like Good Kid, Mad City more, and I go back and forth with it. I wouldn't definitively say Kendrick is a better rapper than Lupe because Lupe makes really good songs. Shout out to Zero in the chat. So Lupe makes really good songs. Like Kick Push, Paris, Tokyo, I'm naming his hits, Superstar. And then when we go into the actual album cuts, American Terrorist, Little Weapon, like Lupe makes really, I just can't go out the window and say, because it's easy, to say that, well, yeah, Lupe is the better lyricist, Kendrick is the better rapper. It's easy to say that, right? But Lupe for sure is the better lyricist. But I don't know if I would just award the better rapper title to Kendrick because Lupe is like one of them ones. I was there for that Curtis King interview with Lupe. Lupe might hop in your chat tonight. It was not planned. Yeah, shout out to Lupe. Lupe actually has me blocked, so I don't think Lupe has me blocked on Twitter. I don't think he would hop in my chat. But like I said, Lupe is one of my favorites, bro. Like he got me blocked. I still listen to his music. I don't care. You're not gonna stop me from listening to the music, Lou. As much as I love Kendrick, I can't say he's a better rapper than Lupe. I just can't. Yeah, I can't say it. Like some days I'll say it, some days I'll take it back. I just think it's too easy to be like, okay, yo, Lupe better lyricist, Kendrick better rapper. Like, no. Then what's your delineation between lyricist and rapper? I would assume it's songwriting. Lupe is a hell of a songwriter, bro. Wave Files changed the way I listen to rap. Yeah, that whole album, that whole Drogas Wave album, awesome. So anyways, first let's get into this Big Sean stuff. It's just like a couple clips, and then we can hop into the Curtis King interview. So let's get it. Big Sean talks Kendrick and Drake beef overshadowing his return to music. That's crazy. Yeah, Big Sean, he did kind of try to make a comeback real quick, didn't he?
Situation.
Oh, let me turn this up. Here we go.
Beef, whatever you want to call it, stepped on your return? Because you dropped.
Wait, hold on. I didn't hear that question. Let me hear that again. My fault.
Do you feel like the Drake and Kendrick situation, beef, whatever you want to call it, stepped on your return?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, the Kendrick and Drake beef stepped on Big Sean's return. I didn't even remember, I faintly remembered that Big Sean would try to return to rap and like had his little comeback. Because right after that came Like That and then Push-Ups and all that. Absolutely. It's not even a question. Of course it stepped on his return.
Because you dropped
Precision.
Yeah.
And then Like That dropped like a week later. And it felt like it just
Right.
dropped.
No, it dropped the same day.
It was the same day?
Yeah, it dropped the same day.
No, but you did drop a freestyle a week before though. Am I tripping?
I dropped it like 2 days before.
Yeah,
freestyle.
and it feel like it drowned. Like That just drowned that out.
It did drown it out, bro.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you can't deny it.
You gotta think about
And
it.
I'm glad he's not being like facetious or trying to be like super cool about it. Like, nah, I don't care. It doesn't. No, it absolutely drowned out what Big Sean was trying to roll out, for sure.
If it's like Metro Boomin and Future, and then Kendrick addressing J. Cole and Drake on first person shooter, you're kind of involving a whole kind of like, it's a whole thing. It's like
Right.
a whole, as opposed to me, I hadn't even dropped music in years, bro, and I'm just
Yeah.
like a return. So I understood. I was surprised too. I was just like everybody else, like, oh shit, like.
So if I was Big Sean, what I would do is, okay, he came with the Precision record. I don't know if he shot a video to that. See, it's my memory of it is so foggy because like the past 3 months, 2-3 months has been Kendrick versus Drake. But if I was Big Sean, I would just re-roll that entire thing out. I would come with the song again, act like it, or if people remember the song, I'll come with the video to the song. I'm restarting my rollout now that all the Kendrick and Drake stuff is over. You can't just try to push through that, bro. Like it's too big of a moment.
Aren't you glad that you and Kendrick never really got into it though? Because that could have been you, Sean.
What could have been me?
He did Drake pretty dirty.
He did.
Yeah, that could have. Would you have been ready for all of that?
Honestly, I think Big Sean would. I seem to have a lot more respect for Big Sean than other people do. But I've been listening to Big Sean since like 2010, so I know what he can do lyrically, and I actually respect Big Sean's lyrics. So I think he would have been ready.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, to quote Kanye.
Yes, though, of course. Of course, I would have been ready for it.
I don't think he would have won, but I think he would have been ready. I don't think Drake was ready. All Drake had was Family Matters. He thought that would be the end all be all. I think Big Sean would have played it a little smarter. And Big Sean is more of a lyricist than Drake. Like Big Sean got punchlines. As many corny punchlines as Big Sean has like some really good punchlines. Even when you listen to Control, Big Sean's verse on there is awesome, magnificent. That's like a 4 or 5 star. That's an elite verse. It's just Kendrick verse, which just had the whole, momentum behind it. Let me get to the chat real quick. Difference between Lupe and K-Dot for me is the quality of their discography, and Dot is ahead in that aspect. But Lupe is the better lyricist, but overall Kendrick has the edge. See, I don't think it's that clear for me at least. As again, these are 2 of my top 3 rappers of all time. Top 3 is Jay-Z, Kendrick, Lupe, in no specific order. The only order would be Jay-Z is number 1. I couldn't say that Kendrick has a better discography than Lupe. Lupe's discography is amazing. Like, sure, he did not reach the heights, he being Lupe. Sure, Lupe didn't reach the heights of a multi-Grammy nominated Pulitzer Prize winner and all this. But when we're talking just quality of albums, bro, Tattoo on Youth, Drogas Wave is just as good as anything Kendrick Lamar is putting out. I'll say it again. Drogas Wave is just as good as anything Kendrick Lamar has put out. You could put Drogas Wave right next to Pimp a Butterfly. You could put Drogas Wave right next to Good Kid, Mad City. Like, and that's just one album. And that's not even what people claim Lupe's best album is. This latest album by Lupe, Samurai, I'm going to replay Samurai more than I replayed Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And that's just me. I didn't think Mr. Morale and Big Steppers was bad, but it doesn't have that replay value. Samurai, that's an amazing album. The title track, or what's the title track? I got days, rainy days, a little better rest for you. Like all that shit, like that's what Lupe and soundtrack, that's what I'm trying to hear, bro. So, and that's just recent stuff. Food and Liquor is just as good, if not better, than Good Kid, Mad City. The Revenge of the Nerds mixtapes, just as good, if not better, than Overly Dedicated and the Kendrick Lamar EP. Like, I don't think it's, The Cool, just as good, if not better, than Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. I don't think it's clear that, well, for me, you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't think it's clear that Kendrick has the better discography. Lupe has a lot of really good albums, even mixtapes like, what was that mixtape called? Was it the Friend of the People mixtape with the song Double Burger with Cheese? And all that stuff, man, even Food and Liquor 2. A lot of people felt that was disappointing. I really like that album. I don't think it's clear. Vegas said, why Lupe block you? I could probably pull up the tweet, but I think I was saying like, I don't know, like Lupe was, I think it was like the anniversary of one of Lupe's albums, and he was just like complaining about the negativity. But I'm like, bro, it's like the anniversary of one of your albums. You have plenty of people sending you positive comments today. You're focused on the negative. Like, bro, people love you. Like, focus on the positive. Then he blocked me. It was something like that. I'm sure he had his reasons. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm still going to listen to the music. It doesn't matter. O'Neal said, define rapper versus lyricist. That's what I'm saying. Lou is a better bar-for-bar lyricist than Kenny. That's facts. I don't even know if that's debatable. Facts! Like, when y'all do these whole hour, not y'all, but, when these people on YouTube do these 2-3 hour long breakdowns of Kendrick songs, it doesn't require that. Kendrick is not, like, his lyrics are extremely layered. That's what, like, Lupe is doing what y'all think Kendrick is doing. And it's no reaches with Lupe. Like, it's no reaches at all. Arlen said, they're interchangeable, but Lupe be hating no matter how he spins it. Meaning he said Logic. Yeah, when he said Logic was better than Kendrick, he was trolling. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that for sure. Lupe is one of the best rappers bar for bar, but he's one of those guys that are too good to casually listen to. I disagree. Go listen to them. What is this song on Samurai? I'm pretty sure it's the title track. I got days, rainy days. That's the Samurai track, right? He said Samurai, Lupe. Yeah, Samurai. Go listen to this after the live stream, of course. I could throw this song on and not really think too hard about it. He's got bars in there, but it's not something that you really need to be super focused, super keyed in on to catch every bar. It's super good, easy listening. Paris, Tokyo by Lupe, super good, easy listening. Even a song like Daydreamin' featuring Jill Scott, Lupe and Jill Scott. You don't have to be super, like, you can choose to really break down the robot and the city that Lupe is describing and all this and all the metaphors in between. Or you could just sit back and be like, admire the rapping, admire the beat, admire the singing. Lupe is one of the, I already read that one, huh? Kendrick fans jumped Big Sean because it was too hot in these streets. I actually didn't even know Kendrick and Big Sean had a beef going on at the time, but I'll get to that. Like That put a pause on everything in hip hop for like 3 months. Facts. Like That. And you know what's funny about that? All this recent Kendrick and Drake spat, it's because of Future. Think about it. Like That is a Future song. It's on Future's album, We Don't Trust You, An album where multiple niggas are dissing Drake. It's Future and Metro Boomin. Why didn't Future catch any strays? You ever thought about that? Like how Drake went at everybody. He even went at Rick Ross. He went at The Weeknd, R&B singer. He went at Kendrick. He threw like a little shade at J. Cole, it seems. I don't care what Cole think. That shit was weak as fuck. He threw shades at everybody. Metro, the producer, he threw shades at everybody except Future, who's on the song that started all this. Why do you think so, chat? I don't know. Logic was influenced by K-Dot style, yeah, for sure. Like early Logic, like Young Sinatra, that was very heavily influenced by Kendrick. Just like JID or JID, I don't know what you guys call them. His early mixtapes, like the Never Story, heavy Kendrick influence. Now JID is more of his own rapper. He's found more of his lane. I ask distinction between rapper and lyricism because I feel people grade things differently. Lupe saying Kendrick isn't a top 100 lyricist sounds crazy. I would have to think. Kendrick is not like in my top lyricists though, because that's not what he does lyrically. If he wanted to, I'm sure he could, but top 100 is crazy. I think he would fall in my top 100 because he does lyrical things. He is lyrical when he wants to be, but that's not the goal of his music. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, O'Neal. When Lupe says that, okay, cool, we can give him benefit of the doubt. But then when you couple that with him saying Logic is better than Kendrick, when you couple that with him, jumping out the windows, clarifying, I never apologized to Kendrick, when your apology is on the internet. Like it's on the internet for everyone to see. When you couple that with all this stuff that Lupe says about Kendrick, and then also remember the fact that Kendrick never says anything about Lupe, it's a little like you're less likely to give him the benefit of the doubt when he says something like Kendrick is in the top 100 lyricists. If that was just isolated event, sure. But in this situation, no. Did I skip a super chat? Oh, here we go. My fault. Oh, what's the dirt? Shout out what's the dirt in the chat, man. Hove #1, easy. Easy, my fault. I saw it come through, but I was like mid-thought. I didn't want to lose my train of thought easy. Big Sean is dope, yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out what's the dirt in the chat, man. Make sure y'all go watch that. Yo, what's the dirt? When you drop that Family Matters breakdown, you already know what I'm about to do to that, man. You already know how I feel about that song, man. I'm gonna break it down, but respect though. Let me get back to the video. Let me get back to the videos. I'm gonna get to the rest of the chats though. So this one is Big Sean makes it clear that he wasn't ducking smoke with Kendrick and shows Charlamagne a text message that proves. Okay, let's just get to it. That's a mouthful to say. Let's just get to it.
Nipsey dies.
RP Nip.
Joe Budden had created this, before that, Joe Budden had made this, there's a Kendrick Big Sean beef, and to the point where I tried to ignore it, but he made that narrative so fucking real that I think it really did become a thing. So, Punch...
He wasn't all the way wrong, though. You said there might have been something in the air.
Well, yeah, because I'm getting to the point where me and Kendrick talk.
Okay.
So I get to the point where I'm like, damn, do we got something going on? That's why
Where did this start? I was not aware of this until years later. I never knew Kendrick was throwing shots at Big Sean and vice versa. Never knew.
I had something prepared, right? And then when I run into Dave Free, and he's like, nah, bro, it ain't nothing. It's all love. He said something like that wasn't directly towards you. It was for anyone, Okay. So then Nipsey dies. And I sit on a plane next to Punch. Random as hell. We're headed to J. Cole's festival. And
Dreamville.
He's like, you ever talk to Kendrick? And I'm like, no, I never. I know it ain't shit there, but no, we never really spoke. Then around that time, that day, or maybe the day before that, or the week, or day within that same time period, that leaked shit happened. It was a leaked verse. And it said what you said.
Yep.
I'm like, damn, nigga, y'all motherfuckers said it wasn't shit and it was something. So you got me looking crazy.
So he's referring to the verse where Kendrick Lamar is like, yo, I heard French Montana say my name in the streets, something I don't approve. And Kendrick came at J Electronica. He came at Big Sean. He was like, you finally famous for who you date, not how you rhyme, or something like that. I low-key want to play it, but y'all know how YouTube is. YouTube will take down this live stream, mid-live stream. They've done it before, so we're just not going to play any music.
But maybe he prepared something just like the same way you was thinking, he was like, let me get my nukes just in case too.
Right, but the thing is, that song came out and he changed that bar, right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't on the song anymore. It was a leaked verse. So I had to keep that in mind because I was pissed when I heard it. So then I'm like, okay, he changed that on his own. So he probably came to the conclusion that it was nothing. So then then me and him talk. And I got the text on my phone. And he's like, I might pull the text out and read it.
Let's hear it. Why not?
Oh, I ain't even got somebody else got my phone.
Somebody grab Sean's phone.
Hey, Charlamagne pressing like, yo, somebody bring that phone. I need that, man.
Eventually.
No need to misquote him.
Yeah, like, nah, we don't have to, it's not a race. Go get the phone, man. It's cool. I can wait 5 minutes. Bring his phone,
I
man.
ain't trying to misquote shit.
Oh, God.
I don't give a fuck that much to misquote a nigga.
And how long ago was this? You said right after Nip died?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can read my stuff, too.
You want me to read?
And Big Sean is low-key dressed like a L.A. dude right here. The Chucks with the flannel. All he need is the L.A. hat. You think he from L.A. The chinos.
Man, you can read my stuff, too.
You want me to read it?
No.
Okay,
I don't think we should read it because I think that's kind of like bitch made, but I want you to kind of like see
And shout out Big Sean for the J Dilla hat, okay?
the sentiment of it. Hold on. So this is me, and then this is him. What up, champ? Yes, we're in great grievance.
That's real.
Wrongly. So in a sense, I don't want to say it. He apologized in a sense for going that far, and for that shit coming out, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you that because, in a sense, he apologized, right?
Yeah, that's real.
So
that's real.
if Kendrick apologized for that same leak that I heard prematurely, right, that he didn't use, it's like, then it leaks fully later, right, and people hear it, and we already discussed it. Yeah. And he said, appreciate the shout out on a Nipsey song. I already addressed it on the song with Nip. Lack of communication or wrong information for people fueled by the ego is like mixing flames with diesel.
That's what he said to you in the...
No, that's what I said on the song with Nipsey.
Oh, I know, but in the text...
Yeah, I think it's called Deep Reverence. I think I actually reacted to that song.
It sounded like he's kind of said the same thing.
Yeah, that's why I said it in the song. Because in that text he said, yo, my ego, da-da-da. So it's like, when that shit leaks, it's like, people are like, oh, you heard what he said about you? I'm like, nigga, I'm not a clout chasing ass nigga, bro. I'm solid and I stand on mine, and I'm not about to do something because everyone thinks a certain thing. Like, we already talked about it.
Yeah, so if you already spoke about it with him, and then the whole verse leaks, and then people are like, oh, what are you gonna do, Sean? Yeah, there's no reason. You already spoke to dude about it. You got an apology. Y'all talked it out. There's no reason to do anything else after that fact.
I already got an apology for it.
Right.
Your shirt right now says, I do not care about their opinions.
Yes.
So why would you care about the opinions of other people if you know what it is between you and Doc?
Right.
Exactly. And that's what it's been. I ain't really had too much communication with him since then. And... but I just want to I represent a lot of people from my city, from where I come from, fans of mine, who think I didn't stand on my shit. And that's not the case. That's what I want to clarify.
Wait, hold on. So this is where I got to stop you, Big Sean. You just agreed with, I don't care about other people's opinions. I don't need, the validation of others. I know what happened between us. I don't care what other people thinks. And now you're saying that people from your city thought you didn't stand on your own too, so now you're about to feel compelled to do or say something? I thought you didn't care about other people's opinions.
From where I come from, fans of mine who think I didn't stand on my shit, and that's not the case. And that's what I want to clarify.
I thought their opinions didn't matter.
I wasn't being a bitch nigga or tucking my tail or nothing like that. And if it was real smoke, if it was really something to stand on, I would be.
So he's conflicted. He doesn't want to look like he was a bitch made and tucking his tail. But then he also just said he doesn't care about what other people would say about the situation when he already knows what it is.
Full front. I would be there front and center for it. And I would be prepared. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. And people want to make something that is not. So that's something that I never really got a chance to clarify.
Okay. Let's hit some more chats. Is it just me? Am I the only one who noticed that? You want to look good for your city and you care about what they say, but then... You in the same breath, you saying it doesn't matter what people say. Somebody in the chat said Lupe is trash. That's crazy. Yo, I can't stand for that, man. I can't stand for that. Nas number 1. Nas is in my top 10. Let's go to some more recent chats. Let's see the recent chats. What's the dirt said? Future caught some strays for the Tokyo girl. I mean, yes, sure. Because I did read that story. I did read up on, I'm big in Tokyo because I'm good in Japan. Is that what you're referencing? Yeah. Off push-ups? But, yo, when Drake took shots at people, he named them by name. Abel. When he dissed A$AP Rocky, he said Rakim. He called him by his government name, Rakim. When he dissed Kendrick, he called him out. When he referenced J. Cole, he's calling out names, is what I'm saying. Future didn't really catch no strays. Not even strays. Yes, you can say what's the dirt. You can say yes. Future caught a stray, I guess, because I guess they fucked the same girl or something. But he didn't go at Future. When Future is like Future and Metro Boomin are the main culprits behind all this. Future, like the Future and Metro Boomin album, what was it called? We Don't Trust You, is the reason that this entire Drake and Kendrick thing popped off. It's because of that album. We Don't Trust You. I would assume you is Drake. So how is it that Future gets out of this unscathed? Kevin, that boy said he still fucks with Future. He think Metro turned him against him. But at the end of the day, if this man is going at you and allowing people to go at you, yo, Drake has like some different type of reverence for Future. It's either fear or it's respect or it's a mixture of both. To where if that was any other rapper, Drake would have won at him. Lil B top 10 lyricist, you tweaking. Tweaker, you tweaking. What's the dirt? I'm not cooking about everyone. What's the dirt? When you drop your Family Matters breakdown, literally it's the most anticipated video in hip hop YouTube right now. But I already got one teed up. I already got a video teed up when you drop yours. You gonna drop your Family Matters? I'm gonna drop my Meet the Grams. I'm gonna drop it like boom, same hour type shit. But nah, for real though, on the real note, I can't wait to react to that. Cause even with the 616 in LA joints, like you pointed out some stuff that I never caught with that song. Like it wasn't until Once the Dirt's video where people started saying that Kendrick is rapping from Drake's perspective. I still don't believe that yet, but I'm open to being wrong. People aren't convincing me. I'm starting to try to be more open to that possibility. But yeah, it's because of What's the Dirt's video. Lou has the edge of punchlines and entendres, but Kendrick has the edge with his voice. A lot of people didn't like Kendrick's voice at first. Like, I think Charlemagne actually has an interview with Kendrick where he was telling him, I'm not a fan of his voice like that. Like one of the first, it was for sure Kendrick's first Breakfast Club interview. Go watch it. After the live stream, for sure. Yeah, goat sided in the chat. What's the dirt? Chat, what's the dirt? What does lyrical mean? That's what I'm saying. We got to define it. Is it punchlines? Is it cadence? It can't be cadence. It has to be just straight lyrics. Punchlines, rhyme schemes, multi-syllable rhymes, internal rhymes. Like when I think lyricism, entendres, I think that. Cadence is more like flow. Like who has the best flow? Yeah, you got your cadence, delivery, all that plays into flow. Big Sean first took shots on No More Interviews. So these shots ain't direct enough for me. When people first started saying that Big Sean and Kendrick were beefing, like way years ago, I didn't believe it. I thought people was trolling. These little subliminals and these super light shots that only the person is gonna know what you're saying. I said this before Kendrick dropped Euphoria. Y'all niggas gotta start saying names. We can't just keep doing this little small pot shots. Y'all gotta start, and they started saying names. But Big Sean, I would have never known. If people didn't point it out, I would have never known. I think Sean getting told that he got bodied in the Control verse. So when no interviews came out, people thought Big Sean was talking about Kendrick. I think that's a very high possibility, A-Stacks. Rabia said, if he ain't busy, Lupe about to show up in this chat. Lupe has me blocked, y'all. Lupe is not showing up to the chat. Like, Lupe has me blocked. Like, facts. Goat in his own mind. Having punchlines is overrated. They can be dope, but they can also be trash or corny. I don't think having punchlines is overrated. I think it's a skill, like any other skill. I look at punchlines as like batting average. Even the best batters, they'll have like 0.38, point something. It's not like they're hitting 0.8, 0.9. It's not like all of their, every time they go at bat, they're making a hit. You know, they're making a run, they're making a home run. Punchline rappers are kind of like that. Like they might do 4 dope punchlines and they might have 2 bad ones. And these are like the top tier punchline rappers. I'm talking about guys like Big L. Like I put Wayne up there. I put Big Sean up there. As a punchline rapper, you're going to have your horrible punchlines. But because you're trying, but when a punchline rapper has a really good punchline, it sticks. Like Wayne, when he said real G's move in silence like lasagna, that's never leaving the cultural dialect. Real G's move in silence like lasagna, that's always going to stay there. But how many weak punchlines did he spit to get there? Wheezy F baby, and the F is for phenomenal, which starts with the P, not a F. But when he got one, he got one. I mean, but it is a certain taste. You have to be ready for that type of rap. Like if you don't want to hear bad punchlines at all, there's no punchline rapper who just has no bad punchlines. Even the greatest punchline rappers like Big L, they have punchlines that aren't good. Big Sean crashing out. I don't think he's crashing out. Being a punchline rapper can be a double-edged sword. Facts. All of this over the Control verse. Facts. And yeah, even the Drake thing, the way Drake responded to Control, that made Kendrick go on the BET Awards cypher and respond to Drake. If you weren't there, I'm sure most of us in the chat, y'all were there when Control dropped. It was kind of like the Kendrick Like That verse. It's froze hip hop. But I think the Control verse was a little, in terms of like influence and how it froze hip hop, I think it's like a little bit above Like That. But it was one of those moments where just everything was on Kendrick off of a verse. Like Jay-Z said, it's funny how one verse, how does it go? I know y'all know how to finish it. It's funny how one verse could fuck up the game. You fought a 4.0, you better get your change. I love Sean. He and Wale was up there with Dot and Cole for sure. In terms of, if we're just talking quality, not sales, which I never talk sales on this channel, just quality, yes. Big Sean, Wale, I put Big Crit. They're right there with K. Dot and J. Cole. Like Kendrick is not like so far ahead of these other guys that it's not even comparable. Like nah, Kendrick, like they were all right there with each other. The hat like PG Lang style. This hat, what is it? You talking about the hat I got on now? This hat is from Yosemite. Shout out to Yosemite. Yeah, Steph and Tarantino. Yeah, funny how one verse could fuck up the game. I think Stephen said that before I even said it. Yo, we on the same wavelength. Future really like that. Gave Drake his pass. Where we at in the chat? My chat just refreshed, so it put me at the bottom. Let me read the more recent ones. Kendrick is way more relatable than Lupe. Simple and complex. Something to touch the simple and something to touch the complex. Okay, I see what you're saying. That's the real difference. I see what you're saying. I could agree with that. I thought Fab was a dope punchline rapper back in the day. Yeah, Fab is another one of them. Fab will say some crazy whack shit. What she say about Ashanti? My new chick foolish like Ashanti. You miss me, baby. Or he say, you miss me, oh, baby, like Ashanti. Or some shit like that. 20-inch rim sitting on Ashanti's garbage. But then Fab will come and say some. Fab has a lot of great songs which are based around punchlines. So it's give and take. That Lupe comment is subjective. Lupe's best album is not on Good Kid, Mad City. I think what you were trying to say is Lupe's best album is not on Good Kid, Mad City's level, but it is. Like Food and Liquor is just as good as Good Kid, Mad City, if not better. Like Hurt Me Soul, there's no song on Good Kid, Mad City that is. Let me watch how I say this. There's no song on Good Kid, Mad City that has. And there are plenty of songs on Good Kid, Mad City that has depth, but none of them has the depth, lyricism, and I'm trying to think of an adjective that's like caring. That's like a combination of caring and introspective, but I can't think of a proper adjective. But no song on Good Kid, Mad City is like significantly better than Hurt Me Soul off of Food and Liquor. And that's one song off Food and Liquor. I think that's facts.
Facts!
Somebody say anybody got Kid Cudi at the top. What? Kid Cudi? What are we talking about? Production on FNL is the only downside. Yo. Y'all gotta stop. FNL is why when Lupe drops, Lupe fans demand that it's soundtrack. I wouldn't say demand. We want to hear Lupe in soundtrack, and it's because of what soundtrack did on those early Lupe albums. The production on FNL is great, bro. Kick Push. Go listen to production on Kick Push. Juice Lee said, "Hurt Me So equals Sing About Me." Yeah, they're both storytelling. Sing About Me is fire, though. The coolest Lupe best album. See, in order for me to, it's hard. Pause. Because I go back and forth with the cool and food and liquor. Like the song The Coolest off of the coolest nigga. But man, that song deserves a 1-2 hour breakdown. You know what I mean? Doesn't Future go by Pluto? Drake did go at him. I didn't hear that. What did he say? I think Kendrick relates to people more because of how personal he gets. Lupe plays with perspective, so it's hard to connect with Lupe as an individual sometimes. I can feel that. And even with like Kendrick's earlier albums, like with Section 80, he would say to his fans, Section 80, this is an album about you guys, the fans. Good Kid, Mad City, this is an album about me. To Pimp a Butterfly, this is an album about us. So yeah, he kind of like plays to his fans a lot more in terms of how he writes music. He has his target audience in mind, I guess you could say. Real and Pressure production was meh. Okay, what about the other songs though? So anyways, let's get to this third Big Sean clip. Let's go. Big Sean tells Charlamagne the moment he heard the leaked version. Oh, we already watched this, huh? Is this one? Let me see. I guess it's the full version.
To J. Cole's festival. And
no, we already saw this, right?
And if Kendrick apologized for that,
yeah, we just saw this.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not.
Cool. So we can X this one out. I think we got one more from Big Sean. Big Sean says he understands why people wouldn't put him in the big three conversation along Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. And I have my own thoughts on this, but we'll let Big Sean speak.
The combo is Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. That's what it's always been.
And I hear my name around that a lot. So
outside of the big three, I actually think it's a Fantastic Four. Cause I thought
ain't no Fantastic Four, nigga.
Future in there.
Okay.
But not because of lyrics, but just because of impact over the last decade.
If you put Future, you gotta put Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has Future has a lot of impact, but Nicki, this whole wave of women rappers, they all grew up listening to Nicki. They all watched Nicki. It's very obviously they all, even the ones who beef with Nicki, like Lotto and Cardi B, they all come from Nicki. So if you put Future, you gotta put Nicki. You gotta make it a 5, a Fab 5. Shout out Fab 5, Freddie.
Fantastic Four. Cause I throw Future in there.
Okay.
But not because of lyrics, but just because of impact over the last decade plus. And then I think after that, that's when you talk about the Seans, the Wale's.
Wale's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wiz.
That's where I go.
Well, there's only one me and there's only one Wale, so. Okay, so the big three converse. So what's the question?
Do you ever be upset that you're not in that combo?
Well, shit, I hear my fucking name all the time when people talk about this big three stuff and
Cause even when you said who'd you say your bigger three? Mm-hmm. I don't have to.
So your so-called bigger three. Right?
Oh, okay, so what people think is okay. I got
Yeah. What
got
people think. Yeah, that's why I said your so-called bigger three.
Well, the general consensus big three.
But I also understand that I have been very inconsistent as an artist.
Yeah.
My consistency is where I'm at. I say that in that too. It's like I haven't put out. I put out,
2 albums the past 10 years.
In 4 years, bro, essentially. You know what I mean? I haven't put a project out, so I can't expect to be in that conversation when I haven't been consistently feeding hip-hop and feeding fans and feeding, and that's something that, as an artist, it hurts because I do need the people.
Well, here's what I think. Here's what I think about why Big Sean isn't in that big three. It's Drake, Kendrick, Cole. You got to remember, first of all, you have to have been there because there are a lot of people nowadays, especially younger people, who they'll say on social media, I don't understand why J. Cole is even in this conversation. He doesn't sell as much as Drake and Kendrick. He's not as good. He doesn't have the hits. It all comes from when Drake, Kendrick, and Cole first came out. You got to remember, they all got popping like at around the same time. Drake was first, Cole was second, Kendrick was like last of the three to really catch fire. But it comes from that era where they were head and shoulders above everyone else. I'm talking about 09, 010 era. I'm not even talking about 2011. Well, you could throw 2011 in there. Like the prime blog era. They were head and shoulders releasing the best music, and the audience at the time, that's who we gravitated to. It was Drake, it was Kendrick, and then it was Cole. So years later, you might not understand why these three are all mentioned next to each other, but that's where it comes from. It comes from when they were young artists, brand new artists. They were the standouts, and it was a lot of good artists. I think Big Sean suffers from the fact that Big Sean would be one of the greatest rappers of his generation in a lot of different generations. Like if Big Sean came out 5 years ago, he would be a standout. If Big Sean came out with like Lil Uzi Vert and Lil Yachty's class, he's obviously 21 Savage. He's obviously way better than all of them. He would stand out. But Big Sean just came out during a time where there were so many great new artists. Forget Drake and Kendrick, Wale, Freddie Gibbs, Nipsey Hussle, Wiz Khalifa. You know what I mean? Currency. Currency wasn't new at the time, but he was catching fire finally. Currency. Who else? Help me out. Rick Ross. Wasn't new, but he was catching fire at that time. So that's when a lot of people got introduced to him. We naming pretty much every popular rapper that's popular right now. I'm talking about Nicki, Future, Thug, like all of them, Dirk, all of them come from that era. So like literally all of them. I'm talking about that 2009 to 2013 time span. Everybody I named, Chief Keef, I already said Dirk, they all come from that era. So now, I think nowadays you guys can understand what I'm saying because we have not had an explosion in new artists like that, where all of them are super good, all of them bring something a little different to the table, and they're all coming in a wave. We haven't had that since then. So Big Sean just has he has the fortune of being included in that group, but also some people who are really good, like him and Wale and Big Crit, they kind of get lost in the shuffle. And also, Drake occupies a certain demographic. Mainstream, women, pop records. Kendrick occupies a certain demographic, especially back then. Underground, backpack rappers. We at a Kendrick show, we packed in there, bunch of niggas, pause, we sweating, it's no AC in there. That was Kendrick. Like that was early Kendrick audience. I'm referencing an actual experience that I had at an actual Kendrick show at the Glass House in Pomona in 2010. It was no AC, bro. We was hot. But that's early Kendrick. And then J. Cole kind of operates in that same lane as Kendrick, but just less conscious, especially at the time. J. Cole was a little less conscious, a little less socially, his music was a little, I wouldn't say it wasn't social, but it was a little less socially, political and all that than Kendrick. It was a lot more bars from J. Cole. So that's why, and then Big Sean doesn't really, you're not going to out Drake at his game, especially when Drake came in with Wayne behind him. Wayne was the biggest rapper in the world at the time. You're not going to take that mainstream from Drake. You're not going to out rap J. Cole. You're not going to out conscious Kendrick. So like there's really, and I say this as someone who likes Big Sean, but I think I'm trying to explain why he's not like partitioned in that big three. And I think that's part of the reason. Yeah, Drake got said B.O.B. B.O.B. was like one of the biggest rappers at one point. Migos came a little later. 14, 15, I think. Drake never leaves the stage. K-Dot drops and leaves. Impact. J. Cole is greatest growth. Kendrick had bars on West Coast Wu-Tang. I keep Future in the mumble rapper lane. I don't see him as any type of lyricist. Now, Future for sure is not a lyricist, but if you respect hip hop, if you know hip hop history, which I'm sure you do, Vegas Def, then you know that Future is Dungeon Family. Future is Dungeon Family. It's just facts. So off that alone, Future is hip hop royalty. Off that alone, Kendrick has the best debut of album of all time, an Illmatic classic that actually sold and impacted immediately. Kendrick hit the scene like Snoop. Well, I disagree with this because like I see Kendrick's first album as being Section 80. So they marketed it like an album, right? It wasn't until Good Kid, Mad City they started differentiating. Well, this is Kendrick's first studio album, not his first album. But nowadays they'll act like Section 80 was a mixtape. Whatever. Lupe lacks charisma and delivery. You got to show me an example of that. Nobody but us Lupe fans care about his music. I mean, why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing? Or are you saying it's a bad thing, Javi? Maybe you're not saying it's a bad thing. I don't think Lupe lacks charisma and delivery at all. Lupe is literally one of the greatest rappers of all time. Not just lyricist, one of the greatest rappers, period, of all time. And I think anybody in hip hop cares when Lupe drops music. If you're into hip hop, and let me rant real quick. Quick rant, because we're gonna get to this actual Lupe reaction on Curtis King. I saw something. Let me pull this up. Actually, I saw something on social media that just spurred a train of thought. Like it was saying something to the effect of, like, yo, you listening to Pimp a Butterfly, you gonna scare the hoes, or you listening to Pimp a Butterfly in the car with a chick. Here it is, right here. Sorry, man. The fine women don't want to hear To Pimp a Butterfly and the whip. Hey yo, come here. You think when I'm in my car and I'm driving a chick somewhere, a date somewhere, you think she gonna dictate what I play? If I'm playing To Pimp a Butterfly, that's what we listening to. If I'm playing SpongeBob by Billy Woods,
It looks like I wasn't wrong. Hit it where they wouldn't.
That's what we gonna listen to. If I'm playing Camp Low Lucchini, that's what we listening to. So Javi, your comment just kind of takes me back. Like, so what? You gonna get in the car with this chick? You gonna start playing Glorilla? You gonna start playing Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B? Nah. You listen to what I'm listening to. Get on with it or get the fuck out. So Javi, your comment kind of reminds me of, when I saw that tweet, like, nobody but us Lupe fans care about his music. If you're in hip hop and you're not just a mainstream listener and Lupe drops an album, you're going to care. Like Rakim just dropped an album. Rakim is way before my time. Guess what? I'm going to listen to it. I'm listening to the Rakim album, bro. It's only 7 songs too. I'm going to listen to it. When Eric Sermon dropped the Vernia album, again, Eric Sermon way before my time, I listened to it. I'm in the hip hop space. It's Eric Sermon. He has Big Crit on the album. He has a lot of guys on the album. I'm going to listen to it. It's not just Lupe fans that care about his music. If you're into hip hop, beyond a casual listener, beyond someone who's streamers, they tell you who to listen to and who's cool, you're going to care when Lupe drops music because he's one of the greatest of all time. That's facts. Facts! Where am I at in the chat? Kendrick is not really conscious. He's just more conscious in his generation. Kendrick has a lyric where he says, I'm hearing the comments. The critics are calling me conscious, but truthfully, every shooter be calling me Compton. So truthfully, only calling me quietly and common proves that ignorance is bliss. Kendrick wouldn't even call himself conscious. But I think he's in the conscious lane for sure, even though he wouldn't call himself that. Self-aware might be a more proper term. A lot of people just fuck with his rap voice, plus he has some quotables here and there. Only hip-hop nerds care beside his fans. Yeah, I mean, if you're on my channel, you're a hip-hop nerd. I'm not reacting to certain stuff. Like, I'm listening to, like, underground shit, man. So all of us here, I think we're hip hop nerds, and like we're the backbone of this shit. We're the backbone. It was like when To Pimp a Butterfly dropped, it was the hip hop nerds. Like people don't remember the reaction on the internet to Pimp a Butterfly when it first came out was negative. It sounds crazy me saying it now, but I would say it was like, I wouldn't even say 50-50. I would say it was like 60-40 negative, 70-30 negative. It wasn't until the hip hop nerds started coming in and being like, y'all are tripping. This is funk. This is George Clinton. This is that, boom, and started pointing out the nerdy shit to where people, like, gradually it changed. Now people talk about it's the greatest hip hop album of all time. It's the hip hop nerds who changed the opinion and viewpoint on that album. As hip hop nerds, we are important, man. We just had a hip hop nerd in the chat earlier. What's the dirt? Like, people wouldn't know what 616 in LA was about if it wasn't for hip hop nerds. Like, what's the dirt? You know what I mean? And like me, I never done a breakdown that deep. You talking about an hour long, just a breakdown, but as hip hop nerds, we're essential, bro. Let's not down. And Javi, I know you're a hip hop nerd too. Let's not downplay this. Yeah, Vegas Dev, define women ain't listening to that is a weird argument. Very weird. Like, I don't care what they're listening to. I agree with you. I'm playing what I want. Exactly. Okay. Hope you tapped into the new Common album. It's incredible. I have so many albums to listen to, bro. I'm actually good that 2024 is coming out to be a better year, because I just think last year was just such a terrible year for hip hop in terms of album releases, and the year before, 2022, I didn't like that year either. 2024, I think it's the quality of releases is picking up, which I'm happy about. How you tease up with Javi? I'm being chill on Javi. Lupe had a commercial run, so people saying he can't reach the masses is just a lie. That's facts. Oh yeah, 2 Chainz. I forgot to mention 2 Chainz. Rashonda, she said Titty Boy. Yeah, 2 Chainz is in that whole era too. Like, again, he wasn't new at the time, 2009, 2010. But that's when, kind of like Rick Ross, kind of like Currency, that's when he caught fire. It was too many artists, man. I cried Stanley to count me out, yep. 2 new Bodie albums rolling out. If you would see my Bodie James reactions, you kind of already know how I feel about Bodie James. If it's Alchemist production, sure, I'll listen to it. But I'm not like super pressed to hear Bodie James rap the same for like an hour. But anyways, the main event, the grand finale, Lupe Fiasco surprise interview about Drake and Kendrick. This is 2-3 hours, so we're only gonna watch like maybe 15-20 minutes. And the whole thing isn't even Lupe. Lupe kind of joins midway and kind of leaves midway. So we'll just try to get to the thick of it. Let's start with why Drake. Where should we start? Let's start with why Drake receives harsh criticism on the show.
Can I say this? Can I say this? Because I feel like it feels a bit of a shot to me. It does feel like a shot to me because I'm looking at this.
Okay, hold on. We got to go back now. Okay. They're in the thick of it. Shout out to Curtis King, man. Been listening to Curtis King for a while. Really, I can't say I've been listening to him for a while, but I've known about him for a while. He had a good run out here in the IE. He had a great run, Curtis King did. He used to perform at what was that old hip hop venue in Riverside? What was that venue? Him, Noah James, Andre DeMar, Blue would show up. Like, what was that venue in Riverside? Higher Grounds, Proving Grounds. They closed it recently, but let's go back anyways.
Right, and afford certain things. Like, certain things are of a certain value and a certain caliber. It's like, we're not gonna be able to buy that. Right. It's certain things that have already been lost. Right. So like MF Doom's Rhyme Notebook. Right, one of the people from the label who the family's like, that dude shouldn't have it. Like, we want that back. Right? Yeah, Echo said this. Nobody likes this interview. I'm reading the chat. Nobody likes this. That's the reason I paused it. Echo said this interview was a Lupe Ferris wheel. Rashonda said, if I watch the video, I'm gonna take a nap. Drake Gotti said, skip the whole interview. So when it gets. We're only going to watch like 10, 15 minutes, if that. When it gets to Ferris Wheelie, I'll try to skip ahead. Right. The Martin Shkreli Wu-Tang album. Right. Where it was like, nobody bought it. right? Except this dude from a pharmaceutical company.
Right.
So
it was only one album.
Whether you don't agree with Drake, I don't have. So just to be clear, I don't have a problem with Drake. I don't have the same problems and like critiques of Drake that you do.
King Ant, resend that. King Ant, resend that. I genuinely
don't. Mm-hmm. I don't look at him that deeply to have those critiques because I don't look at Drake as a leader of me. Like I don't look at him as affecting my personal day to day, or I don't look at him as being like injuring in the layers in the area of culture that I work.
So you see Kendrick as he does affect all those things, yes or no?
Sure.
Right. He's not that deep.
Well, can I say this? Can I say this? Because I feel like it feels a bit of a shot to me. It does feel like a shot to me because I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is not. I'm not a media takeout. No disrespect to what they do. I'm not a media takeout. I'm not somebody that gets on here and is looking for juicy gossip to talk about. I started this channel. All up and down this channel, all you see is a history. After I walked away from the traditional industry, I got in a space to guide independent artists as I guided myself through this journey.
Facts.
I've had a very unique process, a very unique journey in which I've learned from a lot of OGs in this game. And I've been grateful to be able to make a full-time living. This is what I do in addition to my music. I get to do this in which I cover stories that support my tribe of DIYers, of independent artists. These stories are relevant because there are artists who are operating in this space.
Shout out Curtis King!
Context of a lot of the stories we just talked about. So I think these stories are very important because, one, it's barbershop talk. If I would talk to this about my friends, to my homies, easily, we would have the same conversation. We can have the same conversation live. So this conversation comes up in that I am leading the way and talking to a lot of independent artists that are trying to understand, who may or may not be of this culture, trying to understand what is the value of culture. Why is this potentially problematic? Because maybe they don't have all the same context that you've laid out of a Drake. So I am passionate about this because I'm passionate about it.
We skipping ahead.
I have covered these things. Matter of fact, I got other things that after we have this conversation, I'm still going to bring up that I feel like, well, now you're playing with the culture. When you have, when you hear him with, and I don't know, rappers say a lot of crazy shit in their lyrics, but when you hear him talk about those very chains of Pharrell and wanting to, threatening to melt them down.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're using the ring of a dead man, and you're sitting here on a Family Matters video, and you're kind of throwing around and kind of a one up on your competition. When you're using the fucking voice of somebody that so many of us have respect for coming up, especially out in the West Coast, of a Tupac, and you keep playing with the culture. Now I look at
DJ Mustard called Drake the Malcolm X of white people on Twitter. Hold on. No way. Mustard on a beat. Oh, let me see. Is it DJ? What does he go by? Mustard? What is DJ Mustard on Twitter? DJ Mustard Twitter. Damn, his name is, he just got Mustard? Dang, that's a boss move. He took the Mustard name. That's crazy. Y'all lying. Oh, okay, he did say it. Drake is the Malcolm X of white people, and academics make sure you post Gordo season first week. Since Drake thought he did a thing with making him drop on the same day as me. So what, Drake tried to make, who is Gordo? Maybe a Drake artist. He tried to make Gordo drop the same day as Mustard, and I guess it didn't affect anything. Malcolm X of white people is crazy. Drake mops. Or the nation of Drizlam. Oh, man. It's crazy. Mustard jumping out the gym.
And I'm like, not only is it him, but his fans are mimicking this behavior. Somebody just had it on Twitter where I'm going to react to this, where he released a new song. Shout out to him. Keep going. You're supposed to do this. This is your career. This is your business. UMG for sure wants you to do this. But the issue is this. Now his fans, one of the biggest outlets in Toronto, this 6 State of Mind or something like that, they had 2 slides. One slide said, new song, Kai Cenat premieres it. The other slide says, all Kendrick can do is rap from the perspective of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Once again, that is not solely Drake's fault, but I feel like that playing in the face of the culture has been something that he has done. So I'm passionate about, first of all, I'm passionate about my...
I don't look at it as playing in the face of the culture, because Drake is definitely a part of hip-hop culture, black culture. I mean, he's black. I mean, whether he identifies that way, I don't know. I'm sure he identifies as black. His mother is Jewish, which in Judaism, the way they and I've been trying to read like the Old Testament and the Torah. The way in Judaism they determine if you're actually Jewish is not by your father, it's by your mother. So Drake passes that test. I'm sure he identifies as both. So I see Drake as a part of black culture and hip hop culture. I think I wouldn't look at it as he's playing in the face of culture. I just look at it as he's tone deaf. And he's having people like Lil Yachty and like super young, like immature people say these things, thinking from Lil Yachty, it would sound different. Yo, this nigga's rapping like he's trying to get the slaves free. He's rapping like Martin Luther King from Lil Yachty. But from Drake, I don't think he realizes that it's like tone deaf coming from him. It comes across as like, bro, do you not see the critiques about you? Like, you should probably not say stuff like that.
Ethics as a man. Second of all, of course, within the context of this culture that I love and revere and respect. So when I see folks that I have a high respect, even since a youngster, you talked about how Jay-Z was influential.
Y'all got me dead in the chat. I'm dead in the chat.
So when I see with somebody playing, you got a toilet where you piss in it, and it plays California Love, I feel like you're playing in the face of people.
Yo, that's hilarious, though. Wait, where was that? Drake has a toilet where he pisses and it plays California Love? Yo, somebody got to send me that. That is hilarious. That's hilarious.
But coach, you're playing in the face of folks with trauma from out here, too. Right. So don't confuse my passion as like uncontrolled anger or something like that.
I'm not saying you off the hinge. I'm not saying that's you specifically, right?
Right.
But a lot of people who just don't fuck with Drake.
Sure.
And they have their reasons. They can put them together very eloquently, and attach a historical kind of narrative to it like you just did, and walk through all the steps and contextualize, but also conveniently decontextualize, right? Where it's like they're battling, right? All fair in love and war, right?
Sure.
One rapper can expose your son that you've been trying to hide from fame.
These are facts.
Right? And you can, I bought your homie's chains and melt them down, right? You can contextualize all the pieces, right? You the one that first said we finna shoot, I got the switches and fuck everybody, it's just me, like all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
y'all right. This like Lupe is kind of talking in circles, man. Limperio in the chat said Lupe going outside. I'm not really okay. Let me get my chat.
Supposed to be like, okay, all fairs in the battle space or not, right? Tupac eviscerated Biggie, right?
Right.
Sure.
And we didn't know what the fuck was going on. To keep it a buck,
right.
We kind of knew it was kind of beef, but to that level, it was like, damn, right? So, I mean, there's, like, to your point, there's things that go on behind the scenes that we won't be aware of. We don't know those conversations. I can't speak to any of those issues between him and Future and Metro and stuff like that. I'm not tapped into that barbershop conversation. I'm not media takeout. I don't follow the shade room. So I don't know what that is, right? To the point that I haven't listened to any of the records beyond, and I keep saying this, and people just find that really hard to believe. And I know that's one of your questions.
Because you're a school, you're a dog, you're one of the
scholar
fucking MCs of all time, bro.
Facts.
I don't say that loosely. I don't say that because you're here. I say that earlier.
Let me ask you a question. How did I get that way?
I'm sure
by
that
studying.
You're a product of studying. You're a product of practice. I just listened to one of my favorite recent songs about you is Rockefeller, and you said this thing is all pattern and pause, and like that was something that it wasn't about how deep it was. It was the fact that you were showing while doing
Curtis King, Eaton, let's go.
And to me, that is a master of your craft, but that comes from studying. That comes from being a student of the game.
Mm-hmm. Right, but it also comes from discipline.
Discipline, absolutely.
Right, it also comes from being able to control yourself and being very intentional with what you do and what you listen to and what you don't.
Sure.
So it's a lot of things that I do not listen to.
So if it's about being intentional, why do you intentionally, Lupe, continually speak about Kendrick when Kendrick has not? In another video, I said Kendrick has never mentioned Lupe ever. Someone corrected me. In 2010, Kendrick had like a control style verse over Kanye West's Monster song. and he listed Lupe as like one of the lead MCs. Lupe, Mos Def, Andre 3000. That's probably the only time. So if it's everything with you is intentional, why are you continually every 2 years, year and a half, Lupe says something about Kendrick? Then Lupe is confused as to why people in interviews are asking him about Kendrick. Why do y'all? The only reason I'm continuing to talk about Kendrick is because you guys keep asking me about Kendrick. Well, the reason they're asking you about Kendrick is because you spoke about Kendrick. If 8 years ago when you dropped SLR, whatever number it was, where you were like dissing Kendrick or whatever, if you would have stopped right there, in 2024, no one would be asking you about Kendrick. If you stop there, it's not like Kendrick has mentioned you, Lupe, since then. You have just, and if this is marketing, great. Keep, if it's marketing, cool, it's working. I mean, look, we're reacting to it. But if this is for real, some for real shit, if you would have stopped at SLR, but you're responding, I'm speaking of Lupe now. He's not here, he has me blocked, but cool. If Lupe, if you would have stopped at SLR 4, I think it was, where you were responding to Control. By the way, Lupe, you were responding to a Control verse by Kendrick, where, again, you were not mentioned. This goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mill, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electronica, Tyler the Creator, Mac Miller. Nowhere in Control does it say Lupe Fiasco, but you responded to it. He hasn't mentioned you. If you would have stopped at SLR 4 talking about Kendrick in 2020 when I made the other video, in 2024 today, no one would be asking you about Kendrick. People continue to ask you about Kendrick because you continue to talk about Kendrick. You are stuck in this like circle. If it's marketing, great. But if it's not marketing, bro, you're stuck in this like concentric circle and you're just like, it's like Ouroboros. Can we search Ouroboros with the fucking snake eating itself? Ouroboros. Yeah, with the snake eating itself. This is you, bro. You're stuck in this shit. Take the tail out of your mouth, and then you can see what the issue is.
Intentionally, from a practice standpoint, because I don't want to be influenced by it.
I get that. As an artist, I get that.
There's other things that I listen to habitually, and not even for entertainment value, purely for practice. Right? I don't even think the shit is good in terms of like, this ain't a good song. But this 18th bar right here, I need to learn how to do that. So part of, and I've explained this in spaces and many times.
I'm gonna skip ahead because I don't know what he's talking about.
Because of a beef.
Let's go back a little bit, just a little bit. There we go.
So I think it can be taught, and I think that you can still participate and not have to not be expected to participate.
This reminds me of like when we were in college, and then your professor in lecture hall, like you remember lecture hall with like all the hundreds of people? It reminds me of college when the professor would just like go off the cuff. He goes off to PowerPoint and then he's just going and going. And then everyone's kind of checked out. Everyone's all checked out. And then he's just going because he's just going. It's like, bro, nothing you're saying is connecting with the students, bro. This is what this reminds me of being in college in a lecture hall where the professor has gone off the PowerPoint and he's just talking about off the cuff about some shit that it's not connecting with anybody. Nobody knows what you're talking about, bro. Get back to the PowerPoint.
In every single little back and forth or little diatribe between folks, no matter who they are. Kendrick, Drake, Jay-Z, Nas, like whatever. Like you don't have to, you don't get a badge or some type of stamp, at least from me. Different from.
And look at Curtis King. Curtis King is like trying to catch. He's trying to catch the flow. He's trying to catch his flow, like bro. Like he's trying to. Like he's listening intentionally, super intentionally. You can tell by the body language. But look at his face. He's like, but where are you going with this? Where is this going?
community and the culture you came up through or not, like, I don't think that it's necessary for you to be able to participate in this culture, be aware of what's going on in this culture, and still have to be up on every little back and forth and beef. With that said, like, Pac is dead. We talking about Pac. Pac died because of a beef. Mm-hmm. So as much as we sitting here like,
well, it depends what you mean by beef. Tupac did not die because of a rap beef. Tupac died because he jumped a well-known Crip and went back and got shot because of it. Like, Tupac died because Tupac did some shit. The Bloods who were with him probably wouldn't have even did. As far as go straight up to this dude, fight. We're in Vegas. We're not in LA. We're in Vegas, and that's I don't know if that's what Lupe meant, but Tupac didn't die because of a rap beef. I don't know if that's what Lupe meant, but I'm just clarifying it. Tupac did not die because of Tupac versus Biggie. Tupac died because he stepped in some gang violence that he's not even a part of. He's not even from LA. Tupac is not even from LA. You have no business stepping in this business, bro. Like, this has nothing to do with you. You're not even from here.
He disrespected the ring. Or
R.I.P. Tupac.
In California Love and this, that, and the third. Like, Pac is dead and Biggie is dead because of a beef, because of some songs. And
No. That's false, Lupe. Tupac is not dead because of his beef with Biggie. Tupac is dead because of who he jumped at the MGM that night. Well-known shooter from LA. Tupac is dead because he did some shit that the Bloods with him would have not even did. Tupac is not dead because of his beef with Biggie. That might be why Biggie is dead. I don't know who killed Biggie. But that's not why Pac is dead. That's wrong.
It's deeper than that. It's more complex.
Street politics that are definitely involved in that one that are playing out right now. But right.
Exactly. Curtis King, I feel like everybody from LA knows. Everybody from LA, i.e., we know. Curtis King is like, no, that's street politics. Has nothing to do with the Biggie and the songs and who shot you. It's street politics.
Well.
And everybody that we're talking about right now, everybody, as much as we might think Drake is a ladies' man, as much as we think Kendrick is a politician and a cultural leader,
right?
They're surrounded by gang killers.
So why listen to Drake's push-ups then?
No, I listened to it because it was like, oh, we going. Like, okay, let's listen to this disc record. Okay, cool, bop, bop, bop. That shit was dope. So I'm in the same game as you in.
I thought it was good too. I thought Push Ups was a great song.
Cool. Right. Ross
great
come back with his, right? I'm like, oh shit, this nigga talking about you can smell the cocaine exhaust when I'm like, this shit groovy, right?
Right.
But then
you know what it is? Lupe stopped listening when it was clear that Kendrick was about to demolish everything. I bet Lupe has heard these songs. Lupe has at least heard Euphoria. When it was clear that Kendrick was about to wipe the floor with this nigga, that's probably when Lupe stopped listening. There's something with Lupe and Kendrick, bro. I don't care what nobody says. There's not something with Lupe and Kendrick. There's something with Lupe with Kendrick. Again, Kendrick has maybe referenced Lupe one or two times ever on record. And the times he referenced him was probably like in 2009, 2010. There's not something with Lupe and Kendrick. There is something with Lupe with Kendrick. And I know what it is. I have a hunch.
G shit, when you see me, check me. And I was like, okay, hold on. Okay, hold up. And I know Ross. So
and I thought Push-Ups, y'all in the chat saying Push-Ups was ass. Shout out Imperial in the stat. Imperial Stats in the chat. Yo, say that 10 times fast. Shout out Imperial Stats in the chat. I thought Push-Ups, for what it was at the time, I thought it was a great diss record. Y'all can go watch my reaction. I love the angle that Drake took, like the top dog angle and pitting Top against Kendrick. I thought that was a great angle. Because I've been saying, like, yo, TDE, that shit looking like a boot camp over there. You know what I mean? So I love that angle that Drake took. I think it's a great... I actually like the leaked version. I like the official version, but the version that leaked first with the Get Money sample, I like that version best.
again.
Sure.
I know Ross.
You have context.
So I'm like, all right, okay. And then it's like, is Doc gonna bust? And then it's like 2 weeks, or how long before he dropped a joint?
It's about 2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
So within that, I kind of was like, all right, I think you're ready to put Samurai out. I'm finna go over here. I'm finna do this. I'm finna wrap up this last end of the school year. And even with the Ross piece, it's like, I don't like where this finna go.
Right.
Right. And then when you get,
but when you listen to Drake push-ups, you was cool with that. When Drake is mentioning, I'll be with a bodyguard like Whitney and all this, like, I don't know.
When the shit do drop, Drake do the AI piece and he kind of egging them on. I kind of listened to a piece of that purely just because it was like some AI shit and I wanted to see what he was doing.
Right.
Right. Cause he was working on an AI project at MIT. Couldn't use it because it's like it's part of this beef thing. And what did I tell my students? Like we not getting into that.
That's not part of it. Right.
Right. But here's an example of somebody using
beef is a part of hip hop though. Beef is a key part of hip hop. Beef is why part of the reason why LL became LL. I'm talking about LL Cool J. Knocking off Kool Moe Dee. LL was LL before that, but that's part of the reason why he was anointed the way he was. Beef is a part of the reason why 50 Cent became 50 Cent. He knocked off probably the biggest rapper at the time, Ja Rule. Knocked him off. Beef is important in hip-hop. Lupe has been in rap beefs. Royce da 5'9" mopped him up. Lupe mopped him up.
In a certain way and So I'm covering it for maybe technical reasons, but I didn't really dig into it. You still don't get a KDOT response for another few like weeks or whatever. But then once you see what's dropping, and I'm picking up on what like guys like you and different folks, Twitter, Instagram. Oh, he said this, he said that, he said this, he said that. And
so you're saying everybody say this on YouTube and on social media, but you're not seeing the millions of clips of people listening to the song? You just never heard the song. Come on, I just don't believe it.
Even with push-ups, it was a little uncomfortable, but I wasn't catching the references, so I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Wife is.
Okay, right. That's fair because I did just critique Lupe on that. Okay, you was okay with I be with a bodyguard like Whitney. Fair response by Lupe. Fair.
So I'm not picking up on Whitney and this that.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Shit, just like any other fan, you got to break it down. So I'm not knowing these niggas finna take it down.
And I heard you talk in one of the spaces, respectfully. I heard you talk about where you see it going with people that you've been friends with, that you've been close homies with, that you saw the different angles this rap shit can take stuff, and it built. You know what I'm saying?
And if y'all not subscribed, nigga, subscribe, bro. Click subscribe. What are you doing?
I want to go into details, but this is what I'm looking at right now. And first of all,
my brother Stack is dead. He was everybody knows Stack Bundles.
Stack Bundles, right.
R.I.P. Stack Bundles.
Respectful.
He was with First 15th when he first started.
Right.
Got his career and got caught up in.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. R.I.P. Stack Bundles, but we want to stay on Kendrick topic. Kendrick Lupe.
But it wasn't that. That's why context. But see, Lupe. That's why we're so surprised that you haven't heard it, because my humble opinion. I know who you are. My humble opinion in listening to this, the display, what Kendrick displayed on this is something that was showing to me the evolution of hip hop, showing me the evolution of where the craft is at right now, because it wasn't nobody calling out nobody's names. It was Kendrick giving him the opportunity to keep it as a friendly spar. Drake habitually line stepping, violating and talking about his manager and his wife and his family dynamic first. He's the first one to do that. Doing more with the whole AI voice of Tupac. And then the violation that happened wasn't even him calling out his name. He showed the many ways in which he was able to use his craft to break down in a competition his competitor. That's one layer of it that I feel like, and I get what you're saying. I want to gotta make sure I get this, because I'm gonna forget this point. Just be honest with you, I'm gonna forget this point. He showed that on display, and my thing is this: when I'm looking at what's the alternative for these kids to pay attention to, when I see a lot of these drill rappers from different spots, where I'm looking at like drill rappers who are not even from the areas, not even from the regions, right? When I think of somebody who I feel like is a branch off of the tree of a Slim Jesus, who came out.
Rashonda said, I want to hear the Friendly Phase songs Dot made. I think, Rashonda, what Curtis King is referencing is in Euphoria, where Kendrick says, we ain't got to get personal. It's a friendly fade. You should keep it that way.
I respect Slim Jesus for being the first ones to come out and be like, I ain't about that life. I just do it because it's entertainment. He said in the Vlad TV interview. When I think about the offspring of that, right? When I think about other rappers who go on Genius and say like, oh, I'm not really with all of that. I just kind of say it because it's the cool shit. When those are the people who are teaching the kids, and it should be the parents. I'm with you. It should be the parents first. When I see that is the alternative, when I see what a lot of these labels, because you and I share a lot of the, I've seen the talking points you have about the labels. I have a lot of content about what these labels are doing. When I see the kind of things that they're pushing upon the kids, and here you have somebody who, like I said, he didn't go in there and call them all kind of bitches and hoes and da-da-da. He broke him down in a way that feels so 2024.
Shout King in a track.
Drake lost as a result of not being able to keep up with this angle of approaching things. To me, even as a historian, historians cover wars because there are historical things that have happened in history. They were bloody. People lost family members. They lost father figures, all kind of things. They lost entire cities, but it was still...
Conch said, I don't want y'all to get on Conch in the chat. Don't get on Conch too hard. Conch said, I ain't about to get into it because I know the channel I'm on. But thinking Drake lost is the most casual opinion of all time. Kendrick couldn't say anything, so he started yelling, PDF this, PDF that. Conch, I welcome differing opinions. I'm not going to block you or ban you from the chat for having a different opinion. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. I thought Drake had some good records. I thought Push Ups was great. I just think when Kendrick dropped Euphoria, again, and Drake dropped Family Matters, it didn't go in this exact order. Kendrick dropped Euphoria, then dropped 616, and Drake dropped the Family Matters, and Kendrick dropped the... We know how that order goes, but all you have to do is listen to the Heart Part 6, Conch. All you have to do is listen to the Heart Part 6. That is Drake waving the white flags. I don't want to dish you anymore. That was a good beef. We had fun. Everything is in past tense. He's talking about the beef like it's in past tense. He wants it to be over. It's facts. For example, they positioned themselves as Mike and Prince throughout the whole beef. After Family Matters, Kendrick had no more flip for that, bars only, but went into the PDF stuff. No, I agree. I love the way Drake flipped the, go watch my Family Matters reaction. I love the way Drake flipped that. Maybe I'm Prince and you actually Mike. Michael was praying his feature would change so people would believe he's actually white. Top will go make you do features for change. Get on Pop Records and white for the whites and wait. You claim your brother Jermaine, but you wanted him to stay out of I love all that shit. I love that. Yeah, you're right. After that, Kendrick didn't really play with the Prince and Mike thing no more. I wish they would have kept that going, actually.
Documented, because in the time period, this is important for us to have the context so that 400 years from now, when they're studying the brightest minds of our time, I'm including you in that, we're able to give some perspective.
We only gonna do like 5 more minutes of this, to be completely honest. Like, yeah, y'all were right. This is going nowhere, bro. Like, this is going nowhere.
Perspective on it. Now, I understand it as an artist.
5 more minutes.
Because I don't want to be influenced by my old shit. Like, I don't want to, like, rub the whackness off on me. I'm in a different space now. But I look at this and I'm like, but this is such a moment in which a 14, 15-year-old, we don't have control over a 15, 14-year-old saying that beef was their first experience to this. But they are exposed to it. And everything is not just negative in a situation. Even when I see all of these different hoods in LA coming together, the reasoning is you would hope it would be for other reasons.
Yeah, you're right. Night in the chat, I see your chat. Lupe said he listened to all of Drake's songs and the Rick Ross diss songs, but none of Kendrick diss songs. Right. So Lupe listened to everything up until where Kendrick started responding. He listened to the push-ups, he listened to the Rick Ross response, which a lot of people didn't even hear, and he listened to the Taylor Made. But when Kendrick finally responded and like the shit just twisted in Kendrick's favor, I didn't hear none of that. I didn't hear anything that I was working on Samurai and okay. He was working on Samurai 24/7. There's nothing else he could do in a day. Cool.
Unfortunately,
this is why people think that Lupe is bitter towards Kendrick. You're fucking lying, bro. Stop lying about this.
It happens when large figures in the areas die. Then you have a truce. But when I see this kind of thing on display, it's revitalizing an entire market for artists that were told they were too regional and would never make it out. It's bringing money back out here, right? There's people that were on that stage, like I'm getting ready to interview Storm DeBarge and Tommy the Clown. Like, these are folks that now are part of the mainstream conversation.
Shout out Tommy the Clown.
Because of that. Kendrick could have easily went on that stage and said, it's just me. It's all about me and these diss songs. But he shined the light for 4 hours with his set included on all the talent that's out here. There's a lot of great shit that happened as opposed to that. But it's like, I can't expect that in the middle of war, everything's going to all be positive, right? Like this is what it, and I'm using the word loosely because obviously this is not in the context of history, but I look at this and I'm like, something is happening. I feel like I've talked to Daylight about this. I used to work at Quiznos with Daylight. I was a manager when he was back at the pit. I'd known Daylight since way back. And I remember having conversations offline.
Oh, I like this. We're going to get to this. Kendrick, this is the last part we're going to get to in this. It's only about 4 minutes. But we're about to get to this. I'm going to take a piss. I'm going to let this play, though. But this is going to be the last part we get to. Kendrick versus Drake versus Lupe. Strengths versus weaknesses. And then after that, he pretty much leaves. Final thoughts. But yeah, I'm going to take a piss. I'm going to let this play, though. Then we're going to get right to this.
Saying like, bro, this is the beginning of a renaissance. And I truly believe it is the beginning of a renaissance. And this is why I'm covering it the way that I'm covering it. So when I see this, I'm looking at all this and I'm saying, dog, it's activation time. And those who are not on code, got to call it out. Got to call for accountability.
So Lupe not on code, and I understand that, right? And that's fine.
I'm not throwing a shot at you. That's not what that was intended for.
I don't trust me, dog. I don't have the ego. So I'm not tripping at all, right?
But that's not what that was intended for.
I know. I get it. But if we're not on code, we got to call it out, right? I know Daylight, too. Daylight is part of Social Society Spoken Art. I've taken Daylight on tour with me, right?
Sure.
Me and Daylight have freestyle battles. Like, I know Daylight, too. I know them all, right? So history is written by the victors, right? History is written by the people who won the war. Most people don't even read history, right? That's why I have to teach a rap history section in my class, right? People know their particular history, but your history is just one part. There's always other parts. Always. There's history books that go against other history books. Some history books is written from the perspective of the person who we only know about certain cultures because it was negative. Mm-hmm. We know about certain cultures that existed, got eradicated, got wiped off the face of the planet.
Sure.
By who wiped them off of the face of the planet because it's like they were the infidels, they were the evil ones, they were this, that, and the third. Not that they were villagers who had a passion and wanted to go here and wanted to go there and had this society and had that. It was like, no, them was the people who didn't believe in what we believe, so we wiped them niggas off the face of the planet. I get it. Right? If it's war,
we bike.
War.
We bike.
But histories are also subjective, right? Histories are subjective. Archaeological sites have to be interpreted, right?
Someone asked, did I wash my hands? Of course I wash my hands. I have to. I piss all over them. Every time I go take a pee, I piss all over them. I have to wash them.
It isn't just like this is what happened and this ain't what happened. Like, you have to understand the language. You have to understand how things are translated. You have to understand how things were influenced by other issues.
All right, I'm done with this. This is the last part we're going to get to. You got something in the chat? You got something to say in the chat? This is your chance. From here until the end, I'm going to read all the chats. I know, sorry, I could not read all the chats this time. It's a gift and a curse. I appreciate everyone for being here. Subscribe. If you're here, subscribe. But when we have this many people, sometimes I can't get to all the chats. But if you want to say something, I'm going to read it. This little section right here is only 4 minutes. So get your chats in. Anything you got to say, I'm going to get to it after we get to the end of this part. Kendrick versus Drake versus Lupe. Strengths and weaknesses. These are the conversations I like to have. Let's get it.
And you take it out of just, I think that Drake, bar for bar, from what he's proven himself to do, I think Drake has better.
Gareth is crazy. Next time sit and pee. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's hilarious.
Punchlines. but I also think that Kendrick is a better technical performer. I think Kendrick is a better artist. I think Kendrick...
No, let me rewind. Go back. Gareth had me laughing. Let me go back.
Let me take it out of just, I think that Drake, bar for bar, from what he's proven himself to do, I think Drake has better punchlines, but I also think that Kendrick is a better technical performer. I think Kendrick is a better artist. I think Kendrick's a better artist than me. I think Kendrick makes better songs. I think Kendrick makes this. You got all that on record if you want to hit.
I've heard that. No. When I did this research,
I wouldn't say I think Kendrick makes better songs. I wouldn't say that definitively better songs than Lupe. I wouldn't definitively say that.
I heard you say that. I've heard that. You've been consistent.
You can't point nowhere where you see me dissing Kendrick in that fashion, like trying to undo the work that he's done. Never. Right? You've never seen me speak on this battle. Ever. There's no...
Well, you did say Logic was a better rapper than Kendrick, which is crazy. Logic is one of Kendrick's sons.
There's nothing you can Google where you're gonna see me.
I got a clip here. And
come with the receipts.
When everything kicked off, and it says Lupe Fiasco says Drake is a better rapper than Kendrick Lamar. I can play that video because we were gonna react to it.
Play it. What you're gonna hear is when
play it. No, let him play it. Let him play it. Let him play it. We want to hear what you're saying.
A better rapper. Then right after.
No. Let him play it. We don't want to hear your revisionist version. We want to hear what you actually said at the time. We don't want to hear your cleaned up version for this interview.
I think Kendrick is a better technical performer. I think Kendrick has better concepts. Play it.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, play that.
Here on this way as well. First of all, I appreciate everybody that is in here. I want to make sure that you understand we're having a conversation. We started this video off. This is supposed to be a normal Thursday reaction clip video, but we are joined with Lupe, the legendary Lupe, and I appreciate your time, sir. I appreciate
legend,
context.
big legend.
So no, I have to at this point.
You don't owe me shit, but real shit. You don't.
I want to make sure that
Lupe, you don't owe me shit because you don't know me. You said it earlier. You don't know me.
Even at the end of the day, if you still disagree and you think whatever you think, at least you have my side of the story.
And that's important.
Okay?
Right.
Okay, so go ahead, play it.
Okay, here we go.
So Lupe Fiasco thinks that Drake is a better rapper than Kendrick Lamar. Hey, it's Asia Sky for Hip Hop DX, and check this out. Lupe Fiasco has made a bold claim amid the ongoing rap wars, and he said that Drake is a better rapper than Kendrick Lamar. Speaking on X Spaces with A-Verb on Monday, April 15th, Lupe admitted that he has not heard Kendrick's diss verse on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That, but said that he listened to and enjoyed Drake's response track, Push Ups, Drop and Give Me 50. When asked who is the better rapper between the two, Lupe replied without hesitation,
Drake or Kendrick?
Drake.
Drake is a better rapper than Kendrick. Do you like? Okay, so is it by a long shot?
Not really. Drake got bars, which you know. Okay. And you know that, so you know I ain't capping.
Drake got writers. Lou, tell me your favorite Drake bars. My next video is gonna be a hater's perspective. If y'all want me to leak some information, I've already have the bare bones of what I'm gonna do in this video. My next video is gonna be a hater's perspective, a hater's opinion on Drake, because people, the Drake fans are calling me a hater. So I'm gonna just lean into that. A hater's opinion on Drake, and I'm gonna list my favorite Drake songs, my favorite Drake albums, and I'm gonna really go into it. So Lupe, let me know your favorite Drake bars. You say you got bars. Which ones?
For sure.
I would give it to Drake. I think Kendrick's a better technically skilled performer, but I don't think he's a better
performer.
Yeah, that's a difference.
So, okay.
The thing is, I don't think Lupe, Cam, that boy, I see you in the chat. I don't think Lupe just respects punchlines more. Lupe once said that the only rapper he really fears is Blue. B-L-U. Her favorite color. However you want to, you know what I mean? Yeah, go listen to that new Blue and Evidence project. Blue is not a punchline rapper. He's methodical. He's a storyteller. He's imagery. He's not... And Lupe once said that's like one of the only rappers he fears was Blue at one point. So I don't think he just respects punchlines.
So you ain't.
I think he don't like Kendrick. Scratch that. I don't think he does not like Kendrick. I think he has something in his head with Kendrick, to where every 2 years we get this word vomit about Kendrick.
I heard Kendrick and felt like he was one of the most.
Like he was what?
Like he was one of the most dangerous rappers. No. So Kendrick puts no.
You ain't never felt that.
Yes, I have. I felt he was very dangerous, for sure.
You felt like he was dangerous to you?
I
Control
like
that.
He's very surgical with words. Absolutely.
Dangerous to dangerous to you.
Well, no, I don't think none of y'all dangerous to me. Like you.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So that's my.
Yeah, I'm saying as far as like.
Because if that was the case, you think he'd be dangerous to you, but he's not dangerous to you. I know he's not dangerous to you.
So,
I know that.
So is he dangerous to you? Because I'm way more ahead of you though.
Ooh.
You way more ahead of me.
And skill, boy, you know you ain't crazy.
Skill set.
For sure.
Okay. Who else believe that?
I do.
Who else believe that A-Verb is a better rapper than Lupe Fiasco?
I'm gonna cut it right there. So.
Okay.
This is so. It's a few different layers on this one. I don't want to unpeel them all. And you did. You were consistent with what you said here, but I think people had a question of why.
I hear it. Curtis, let me say this real quick, right? I said.
Yeah, Cam, that boy. Yeah, Blue got a project with evidence, and he dropping some new shit. You'll hear what's her name now? Yeah, her name used to be Maya Huyana. I interviewed on the channel. Let me show y'all. Maya Huyana. He got some new shit where Maya Huyana is on. I interviewed her years ago. This is her. Shout out IE Stand Up. He got some new shit. She's on it. So I think her name is Ya Creates. Ya Creates her name.
The exact same thing that I just said to you.
Right.
On that. Right? The exact same thing. There's other interviews where I say, hey, Kendrick is a great conceptualist. He makes better songs. He's a better artist, right? He has a better choice for beats. He has a better this. He has a better that. He makes better albums, right? But let's focus on this, because I said exactly what I just told you. You just played this clip. It said the exact same thing.
Sure. So then my question is, when those skill sets are being put to the test, 1 versus 1, why not you gave me the reason, so that didn't really have any context, because you said you're working on a project, you didn't like
it looks like that part of the interview is over. I'm gonna let them rock for one more minute, because y'all were right. This interview, it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo
direction things were going when you heard some of the conversation from Rick Ross.
Mumbo jumbo.
My thing is, now
get your last chats in. Get your chats in. I'm gonna get to all the chats. If you want to hate haters, I'll read those too.
For 1 versus 1, where those type of things are on full display, punchlines, the double entendres, all of these things are on display.
They got 1 minute,
and that could have very well changed in a lot of people's mind who probably felt similar to how you felt. My thing is, how could someone who teaches at MIT, who the teachers are coming to because of your elite level of lyricism, how can you deliver, and I'm not sure if these conversations ever come up, how could you deliver this without the proper context of things that have shifted the culture, that have shifted the perception that some people have of lyricism on display, for the way that people are absorbing it? Why did these certain things work? Why did this, these are all contextual things that need to be out there, right?
You're making an assumption that the entire culture is under Kendrick and Drake.
What? No, he's not. No, he's not.
This is a hot topic within.
Oh my God.
Hip-hop culture.
I get it. Hold on. I get it's a hot topic. I get that it's a big topic. But to make this statement.
See, a person who is not, like, what Lupe is do is like spinning them in a circle. And usually with dumb people, you can just spin them in circles. You can spin them in circles. Curtis King is not a dumb person. That's why he automatically is like, no, like, and he's trying to be respectful. He's like, no, that's not, I don't think that's what I'm doing. He's trying to be respectful. With a dumb person, this will work though. Curtis King is not that guy. I'm not that guy. It's like a spin cycle. Somebody smart is gonna stop you and be like, nah, answer the direct question. Let's get back to the direct question though.
That the entirety of the culture is under Kendrick and Drake is not true.
That's not the statement I'm making.
Yeah, Conch, I'm getting all the chats, not just super chats, all the chats.
Who are being exposed to this.
I would push back. The same way there's different regions, and there's the generation isn't a monolith.
What? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, bro? Lupe, please make your point. Make your point.
One king rule,
because the same way that you got people saying the same thing you saying about Kendrick, is people saying the same exact thing about Drake.
Sure.
Okay, so that shows.
So what's your point?
Immediately, of the same generation, the same age group, the same interests, right? Potentially from the same region, right? That are having two different sets of opinions about this situation.
Okay.
Right? When my students, because you bring up MIT and my students and me of a caliber and this, that, and the third. I've been teaching rap before I got into MIT.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there. Y'all were right. This is a spin cycle. Somebody earlier said they took a nap. Let me go up in the chat. I'm going to go to, where is the dude that made me laugh? Where is the dude that made me laugh? Where he said, what did he say? Let me find him in the chat. I think his name started with a K. I think that around that time is where I said, I'm going to get to all the rest of the chats. Let me see. Give me a sec. And so, y'all, subscribe. If you're not, I'm sure most of y'all are subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, now's a better time than ever. Damn, I lost this dude's chat. Maybe he deleted his chats. Okay, we're going to have to do this manually. Let me at least try to find the last place that I left off in the chat. Let's start with Night. Lupe is jealous of Kendrick Lamar. Jealous, I think, is a bit much. I would definitely say there's some envy. And if you want to know why I think that, there is no better video for me to watch about this topic than this one. It's me in my car, but I haven't used this microphone in a long time. I still have this microphone. People used to say like, damn, nigga, your microphone is great. Like I can hear everything. But I still have it, but I don't use it. But anyways, ADHD kicking in. I break down everything in this video. Is Lupe obsessed with Kendrick? Go watch it. I don't think it's it may be a smidge of jealousy. I think envy is a little bit more accurate, and I explain why. Where are we at in the chat? Here we go. Another word salad from Lupe. Facts. Shaking my head, Lupe. Yeah, history written by people who don't listen to more than half the songs. King Ant said your biggest hater is usually your biggest fan. That's facts. Yo, I got people who leave the nastiest comments on my videos, but they'll leave nasty comments across like 5 videos. I'm like, bro, even people who watch and come to the live streams, they don't even comment on 5 videos in a row. You're a hater, you just watch 5 videos in a row, and the things you're responding to are like in the middle of the video. So that means you're really watching through the whole thing. I appreciate you though, for real. Lupe and Big Sean are both over a decade. They've been trying to rap battle. Kendrick Lamar and Kendrick Lamar respond to Lupe and Big Sean. I think there might be some typos in there. I'm not getting that whole gist of what you're saying, Night. Arlen P. Yeah, Drake is too famous to be a pedophile. What the fuck? Yeah, Conch said Drake is too famous to be a pedophile. It's crazy. I like this beef. My favorite thing to hear. Anyone that was subliminal dissing Kendrick Lamar and taking Drake's side are all going to get dissed by Kendrick. I don't think so. I don't think anyone that was subliminal dissing Kendrick and taking Drake's side are going to get dissed by Kendrick. I think Kendrick is very methodical with how he approaches rap beef. I think Kendrick knew that Drake was like the only person on his level. Even Kendrick had the Big Sean and French Montana and Jay Electronica diss lined up. He had it recorded. He didn't release it. He turned the song into 2 different songs. He turned one part into Element, one part into Paramedic, and that was it. So I think he's very aware of that type of thing. Kendrick Lamar is going to do a revelation on the industry on his 6th studio album. I'm going to see. I didn't really like Kendrick's last album, so we'll see. A minor, best punchline? Yeah, in terms of punchline rappers, yes. A minor is like one of Kendrick's best punchlines. That was a great punchline too. And not even Conch, what is Conch trying to say? Y'all mad about Drake interpretation of Mother I Sober, but for example, Jay-Z never actually said that he's better than Big. He said that he's the closest, but Nas lied about it. I don't hear people crying about that. Well, yeah, Conch, the thing is, like, it's about, in a rap beef, it's about how you frame things. Like Pusha T, you're hiding a child. It's how he framed it. Like, Drake probably just didn't want his child in it. He didn't want people to know about him. He's a famous, super famous guy. He doesn't want people to know about his child. That's completely fine. But it's the way Pusha T framed it. You're hiding a child because your child's mom is a porn star and all this. It's about framing. Imperial Stat said, I'm gonna watch a rap battle, but only listen to one rapper, not the other. He think we dumb. Facts. Like, facts. Like, what? Lupe has to stop engaging with fans. They only want negativity. I don't think he has to stop. Like, on any given day, Lupe gets a ton of positive comments and he gets some negative. Lupe engages with the negative. This is why I got blocked by him. He engages with the negative. It's his choice. Where we at in the chat? Lupe song's boring. I don't agree. Lupe is one of like the greatest rappers of all time. His songs are not boring. Imperial said Lupe just jealous. Yeah, I think that's fair. If you go watch this video that I done, this one right here, if I can find it. Where is that? Yeah, this one right here. I kind of explain why I think there's some envy between Lupe and Kendrick. Well, really just on Lupe's side, because Kendrick never talks about him. Lupe can rap, but his music doesn't touch my soul like Kendrick's. Well, Night Night, I would ask you, how many Lupe songs have you heard? Lupe's music does touch the soul. Lupe is literally the first rapper ever that I actually related to. I listened to rap before, but I never related to a rapper until I heard Food and Liquor by Lupe. Then I heard Revenge of the Nerds, even just the title of the mixtape, Revenge of the Nerds. I relate to this. Kendrick was the second rapper I ever related to. Lupe and Kendrick both make brilliant songs, but Kendrick is a master of sequencing and making albums. The Cool is full of classic, conceptual songs, but they don't really have anything to do with each other. Come on, bruh. The Cool is not the album to use that on, because The Cool is a whole conceptual album. The Cool album starts on the album before it, Food and Liquor. If I'm not mistaken, correct me. There's a track called The Cool on Food and Liquor, which is kind of the prelude to the album The Cool, which is this whole thing, Michael Young history. It's a whole concept within concept. Come on, bruh. Like, I encourage you, go really listen to The Cool. Watch some breakdowns. Rashonda, Kendrick is the best rapper that crafts songs. They are visual, same as Rick Ross. If they are visual, they're saying his songs are visual, same as Rick Ross. They're both great songwriters. Drake can go outside of rap with his songwriting ability. True, yeah. Drake wrote some songs for Alicia Keys. Unthinkable. That was early in Drake's career. Lupe doesn't. This is Jeff. Jeff says Lupe don't talk about anything important in this interview. Yeah, that was kind of a waste, but I'm glad I at least got to it. Y'all's asking for it. Cam That Boy said Kendrick is a scheme/story type lyricist, versus Lupe and Drake, who do punchlines. Well, Lupe does metaphors and concepts and double, triple entendres within. There's a concept within a concept, and then a metaphor within a metaphor. That's the super complex lyricism, elite Lupe. Kendrick don't do that. You're right. No, he wasn't listening correctly. Everyone was wrong. Shout out to Drake got in the chat. Lupe just respects punchlines more. Lupe can't be one of the greatest saying. Lupe is one of the greatest. Just because we don't like what he says about Kendrick does not mean that Lupe isn't one of the greatest. We got to stop that. Sure, I don't like what Lupe is saying about Kendrick, but Lupe is still top 5 in my book. Like I said, top 3 really. Catch Me on the Right Day, he's top 2. Drake, 50, Lupe, Big Sean, etc. are all going to meet the wrath of Kendrick Lamar, a.k.a. the boogeyman of hip-hop. It's not going to happen. There's no reason for Kendrick to diss 50 Cent. There's no reason for Kendrick to ever mention Lupe Fiasco. Where we at in the chat? I stopped listening to Drake once he went full red pill. When did Drake go red pill? We gonna see Drake on Fresh and Fit or something? Some people just value punchline more, and that's fine. Kendrick had more bars and punchline early in his career. That's true. That is where my academics facts is facts. Lupe says Kendrick don't got punchlines, so he ain't that great. He didn't exactly say that, but yeah, I think like what other people earlier said, Lupe seems to, in this situation with Kendrick, seems to value punchlines more as to who's the better rapper. I think it's bullshit because Blue does not use punchlines. And like I said prior, Lupe mentioned that Blue is one of the only rappers that he's afraid of. Blue is not a punchline rapper. Lupe is smarter than that. Lupe just has this thing with Kendrick. Envy, I think, is the closest adjective I can use to describe it. Kendrick is going to give Lupe and Big Sean the business, and they're going to see how dangerous of an MC Night, like, I don't think so. We'll see with Kendrick's latest album. Royce the 5'9" saying Kendrick is dangerous to him is kind of crazy. Kendrick is dangerous. Kendrick is like the only rapper in the past 20 years who will drop a verse and it stops hip hop. Kendrick dropped a verse, Control, like that, and it stopped hip hop. Name another rapper who's done that. I'll wait. Lupe said Control verse was whack, but he's still mad about it to this day. It wasn't whack. It's envy and jealousy from Kendrick to Drake in my book. It's envy and jealousy from Kendrick. He said himself he was jealous of Drake, that he was more accomplished at a younger age. AAA, I don't know if Kendrick ever said that. Kendrick has a verse on the Kendrick Lamar EP where he quotes a Kanye West lyric. He's like you know how Kanye says, before anybody tried to KOS beats me and my girl spit the bucket at KFC. Man, I was having nervous breakdowns. Like, damn, these niggas that much better than me? Kendrick has a bar where he's like, he's hanging with his girl, she listening to Drake. Damn, this nigga that much better than me or something like that. He never said he was jealous. It was just kind of a play on the Kanye line from Touch the Sky, which Lupe Fiasco was on that song. These niggas that much better than me? King Ant said, Troy, you getting sleepy? I'm not getting sleepy. We over time right now. They try to keep you off for an hour, but it's all good. I think Dot's done sunning Aubrey. That record of the year Grammy gets for Not Like Us. Yeah, the Not Like Us thing is not over. There's going to be the upcoming Grammys, whenever that is. It might be this year, it might be next year. I don't know when the Grammys is. But that Not Like Us is going to win there. So it's not over just yet. Conch said you get into all the chats or super chats. I'm getting all the chats. We're almost at the end here. I know you ain't going to address my cooking. I'm literally the only non-casual here. Conch, I've been addressing your cooking. I know this is an old chat, though. This is an older chat. But I addressed your... You ain't really cooking, though. You microwaving. You know what I mean? You on the air fryer. You ain't over that stove. You ain't really cooking like that, though. Dot is not jealous or envious of Aubrey. I agree with Shonda. Night said it's going to be the 11-year anniversary of Kendrick Lamar Control verse this month. 11 years is crazy. And the thing is, everybody's verse on Control was great. J Electronica, you could check my name on the book. I earth, wind, and fired the verse that rained on the hook. The tale of Dorothy Flowers proclaimed from the roof, the tale of Magnificent King who came from the nooks of the wild magnolia. Everybody's verse on Control was crazy. It's just Kendrick's was the standout. I hate that Lupe is talking like this. I'd rather somebody be straight up and direct. This is annoying. 100% agreed. Vegas.
Facts.
100% agreed. Where we at? I hate when the chat refreshes and then it like makes me lose my spot. Where was I in the chat? Here we are. Boom. You have to be relatively intelligent to enjoy Lupe's music. So it's super weird that he talks to his fans like we're stupid. That's a great point. Kayla Marie said, what would K-Dot be jealous of? That's what I'm saying. Lupe's trying too hard to say nothing. Agreed. Lupe probably gets women trying by his stalking. Lupe likes to bloviate. Oh, bloviate. I like that word. Just lead till he blew in the face. Bloviate. I like that. I need to use that in a sentence in the next week. Lupe, Trey Gotti said, Lupe guilty of hating, period. Guilty, guilty, guilty. I agree. Lupe Fiasco is a master manipulator and a liar. I won't go that far. I think he just has this thing with Kendrick that he doesn't want to fully admit yet, so it just makes him come across sketchy. Lupe's just coming across sketchy. Like, bro, just say what your thing is. If you want to battle him, just say, I want to bait him into a battle. That's what I've been trying to do. But this whole, like Juice Lee said, all this bloviating just makes it look weird and sketchy. Lupe just bitter he made Lasers. I actually like the Lasers album. Derailed his career. You gotta remember, when Lupe made Lasers, that's around that era is when Kendrick soared. So Lupe made Lasers, Kendrick soars. Takes that same fan base. Again, I mentioned all this in this video. I make all these points in that video. Lupe is his own worst enemy. When he sounds dumb, that's when he's trying to talk smart. Lupe wants to have Kendrick's baby. That's crazy. Lupe needs to be real. This condescending, low-key hating in interviews and Twitter is ruining his image before niggas even hear his music. I agree 100%. Cam been cooking the whole chat. He been cooking the whole chat. I agree. Stop talking about Kendrick, bro. You don't have to. It's not like Kendrick is talking about you and you're responding. It's just you talking about Kendrick constantly and then asking people why they keep asking you about Kendrick. It's because you keep talking about him. Lupe suffers from his own intelligence. I think there's just some envy that he doesn't want to call envy. Lupe himself doesn't want to call it envy, but I think that's what it is. Again, just go watch this video. Just go watch that video. Lupe can rap, but his music doesn't touch the soul. I disagree. I heard Kick Push the other day and almost shed a tear. I was like, damn, this song is beautiful. The whole song is gorgeous. The song, I said I would marry you, but I'm engaged to these aerials and burials. I don't think this board is strong enough to carry two. She said, bow, weigh 122 pounds. Let me think one thing clear. I don't need to ride you. Man, that's a gorgeous, that man, that's an elite top 5 hip hop song. I'll put it in my top 5. If I had to rank top hip hop songs, top 5 is crazy. I'll put it in my top 20 for sure. Where we at? This is a theory, but maybe Lupe feels like Kendrick is occupying a lane that he feels like he should be at the top because he thinks he's the better rapper. Vegas Dev, that's literally Vegas Dev, what you just said right here. This is a theory. Maybe Lupe feels like Kendrick is occupying a lane that he feels like he should be at the top of because he thinks he's the better rapper. That is 100% the point I make in this video. You don't even have to watch this video anymore. That's literally what I said in this video. Astute observation. That's it. That's literally it. That's why this whole thing is even happening. Great observation. Lupe in my top 10 and K-Dot is not. But Lupe lying his ass off. Fair, unbiased. Lupe music is boring sometimes, and I'm a big fan. What do you think was boring? I don't know. I like the drill music in Zion. I like the Samurai. I like the Drogas Wave. I didn't find it boring. I actually found parts of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers a little boring and confusing. Like, why is Kodak Black on this album? Drake attached, revealing his child to a sneaker deal. Crazy. Put his kid in the music video, too. I don't buy this hiding my real from the kid. I feel you. Lupe top 2 all time, but Lou hating on a guy you influence is crazy. It's like you're getting mad that he surpassed you. Facts. Facts. I wish Lupe would just drop the diss and stop teetering the line. Just embrace the hate you have for the man. It's obvious. Facts. Facts. Where we at? The Cool is a concept album, but the songs don't really have anything to do with each other. Paris Tokyo, Dumb It Down. I see what you're saying. Are not tied to the story of Michael Young. I heard what you're saying. I heard what you're saying. Fair critique. Fair critique. When Kendrick Lamar dissed 50 Cent, Big Sean, Lupe, Drake again, you're going to say that I was right. I will say that you're right. When Kendrick comes at 50, he's already come at Big Sean. When he comes at Lupe and Drake, I will say, you know what, Night, you was right. Come in the chat after that happens, I'll say you was right. Lupe is purposeful with the complexity. wouldn't say Kendrick can't. Yeah, that's my whole point, Arlen. Lupe is more lyrical because he wants to be. And I don't think it's just because he wants to be. He's just naturally, he's that guy. Kendrick doesn't really go that style more so. I think what you said is proper. I don't think Kendrick can't do it, but he just doesn't. Droga's Way is low-key a concept album. Almost every song is about black people being reincarnated. Speak your speech. Kayla Marie, speak your speech. Lupe knows he's better than the top guys. I don't know why that isn't enough for him. I explained it in this video. Where we at? Nas from 91 to 94 is the only comparison to who? But he was an underground rapper. I think Nas after that was better. I've heard like those pre-Illmatic mixtapes. I think Nas from Illmatic to Stillmatic was better than pre-Illmatic Nas. I literally just looked back at the comment. Royce is a crazy motherfucker on the beat, and to have his respect is a huge W. Royce is insane lyrically. Royce is a punchline rapper. I was talking about punchline rappers earlier. Some are good, some hit. Royce is one of those elite punchline rappers. So I just can't say I don't fuck with punchline rappers. Where we at? Here we are. I found it. My chat keeps refreshing and it just keeps putting me out there. We're almost at the end here, so get your last comments in and we about there. Yeah, I mean, Big Sean's verse was good, but I don't like some of his punchlines. That's fair. I don't like some of Big Sean's punchlines either. But his verse on Control, I don't give a fuck about name dropping, Hall of Fame dropping. I don't give a shit about niggas unless they OGs, cause that ain't the way of a OG. So I G-O, collect more G's, more dollars. Come on, it's fire. Control's 11 years old. That's how old Drake's daughter is. We don't know if Drake has a daughter. Stop it. Night say, go ask what's the dirt about me. I'm the one who told him about the Drake and J. Cole subliminal. Diss Kendrick Lamar. Okay. Yeah, what's the dirt? If y'all just came, what's the dirt? He was in the chat earlier. Shout out to What's the Dirt, man. We can't wait to hear that Family Matters breakdown. Go ask Stop Crying About Me. I'm the one that told him about the J. Cole and okay. All right, Night saying he really about that life. Shout out to Night. 50 can't rap no more, so matter much. Yeah, 50 Cent not really a rapper anymore. 50 Cent's one of the best. He had one of the best peaks, but he's more, he's doing his movie, his film stuff. Night said, do Lupe Fiasco have songs like How Much a Dollar Costs? Or a song like Feel? Or a song like Father Time? When you say a song like, what do you mean? Like just storytelling in deep, or are you asking me specifically, does Lupe have a song like about a homeless guy, like How Much a Dollar Costs? Because Lupe has very deep storytelling songs, emotional songs. He Say, She Say, for instance, off of Food and Liquor. King Ant said Kick Push is about abandonment, not skateboarding, and went over people's heads. And then King Ant, when you listen to Kick Push 2 is about drug dealing. So it leads you to believe that Kick Push 1 is about drug dealing. Kick Push. Security guards came, there's no skating here. We was grinding, all this. Like, Lupe is crazy, man. No Lupe slander in the chat, bro. None of us like how he speaks about Kendrick so much. But we not about to sit here and act like Lupe is not that guy. Cross said, I probably heard every Lupe song and he sounds super intelligent, but when he talks, he sounds dumb. I just think it's this topic about Kendrick. I think this topic about Kendrick is making him go haywire a little bit. Vegeta is Lupe, Kendrick is Goku. Listen to Lupe songs Manila, could have been Wave Files. Didn't Kendrick and 50 work together on Power? I don't know. I don't watch that show. I think Lupe waiting for K-Dot's momentum to die down so he can eventually challenge him. I also, the ground under, I also think that Lupe just wants to battle Kendrick. I think that's what this is all about, Loki. I think he wants to go head up. He wants to go body. Do y'all go body in junior high school? He wants to go body. I wish Nas would have gotten a Pulitzer. At least they finally recognized the quality. Dot is up there with Shakespeare. I don't know, Shakespeare is kind of weak to me. Shakespeare not rhyming like Kendrick. I'm just not gonna lie to you. I read Shakespeare. Like, he's not rhyming like Kendrick. No lie. Kendrick brought Lou on stage and praised him before. Yeah, Kendrick has praised Lupe like at least once or twice, for sure, before. Lupe talking about porn is weird. Need to wax on and wax off himself to sleep. The jealousy is really him being deprived from sex. That's a crazy take. I can't speak on this man's sex life. No, pause. To Lupe, stop tap dancing around the conversation. I agree, Radigun. Like, I couldn't listen to any more than 10, 15 minutes of that. Rashonda said this may be a hot take, but Slaughterhouse was better than Griselda. Slaughterhouse didn't have the longevity that Griselda had. Griselda, you gotta remember at one point, Rock Marcy was also affiliated. Mac Homie, or Mock. I like saying Mac Homie, it just sounds cooler. Mac Homie was also affiliated. Then you got Benny, Conway, Westside. Slaughterhouse had like a very short run, and they wasn't releasing like individual projects while they were also in their group. They didn't have that momentum. They had the anticipation, but not the momentum. But they were cool for what they were, though. I mean, Slaughterhouse, but I don't think they were better than Griselda. Dot is more accessible, surface level. Got to pull out this damn tongue twister. Got to pull out the thesaurus for Lupe off the jump, but both can be dissected. The difference between one being at the top of mainstream. That's fair. Fair point. Blood skipping my cooking. He skipped them. I didn't skip nothing, Conch. I didn't skip nothing. I literally read all your shit, man. Stop it. I forgot Big Sean sneak diss on Control. Yeah, he did. There was a story about Big Sean's, how he made Control and how he got the verses back, and then he rewrote his initial verse after he heard everyone else's verse. That's why Big Sean says, I don't give a fuck about name dropping, Hall of Fame drop. He's referencing Kendrick name dropping on his verse. I would have did the same thing though. You not about to take over on my song, bro. Like, come on, man. Okay, Night, you got people vouching for you in the chat. So salute to Night storytelling and spiritual, in deep, that touches the soul and that can make you think and that can make you cry all in one. Lupe Fiasco doesn't have that in none of his songs. That's just not true. Hurt Me Soul, He Say, She Say, Little Weapon. I just named you 3 off the top of my head. What's the song where Lupe's naming all the slave ships? Wave Files? It's just not true. Streets on Fire is like how much $1 costs. Death is on the tip of her finger. Matthew Santos. Why doesn't Lupe do songs with... Yo, we need a Lupe, Matthew Santos soundtrack collab. Just a couple songs. We don't even need a whole album. Just a couple songs. Does Lupe have a lookout for Detox? Does anyone? What do you mean by does he have a lookout for Detox? Lupe has a lot of songs where he's just barred up. I know Lookout for Detox is a Kendrick song, but Lupe has a lot of songs that are better than that. Lupe said Kick Push is not about drugs. He said it on IG. It was about abandonment. Right, but King Ant, Kick Push 2 is for sure about drugs. Can anyone listen to Kick Push 2 and think the reason people started saying Kick Push 1 was about drugs? Because Kick Push 2 is about drugs. Look at what we did. Came a long way from dirty ghetto kids. That's why people started saying that. So did he also say that Kick Push 2 wasn't about drugs? Lupe has songs just as brilliant as those. Not debatable. Shout out to Kayla Marie. I love Lupe music, but I hate his opinions on Kendrick. Y'all wish he would just stop talking about Kendrick. This Lupe Kendrick shit burnt out in my Drake voice. In your hard part, over the hard part 6 beat. Well, Kendrick played a crackhead on Power. I do not watch that show. Company Man, a.k.a. Justin Hunt. I love to see a collaboration between you and him. Yeah, shout out to Company Man. Hopefully we can get something going. Hit that like button. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. Gareth, that was your name. I was looking for your chat earlier. Yeah, thumbs up, please. You guys know I very rarely ask people to like the video, but now that Gareth has reminded me, like the video. We're almost done here, by the way. We're almost done. Lupe needs to get prepared for Kendrick. I think he's already prepared. Company Man ain't gonna say nothing negative about Lupe. I think he will. Company Man has good opinions. He has good opinions. Company Man is close with Lupe and Kendrick's TDE camp, so he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, King ain't. I'm not close with none of these niggas. I'm gonna say my opinion. Hey, I don't care about offending nobody. But Company Man has, he's an actual journalist. He has journalistic integrity. I don't have that. So that's my flaw. That's my flaw. Anybody in the chat saying Lupe doesn't have deep songs or songs that make you think have never heard him. Facts. Like, facts. I don't know what we're talking. Lupe has songs that are just as good as Kendrick's. Like, stop it. Lupe has songs that are just as good, if not better, than Kendrick's best. Stop it. Night Night said Big Sean is throwing rocks and hiding his hands. I think Big Sean wants to smoke. I think Big Sean is a little like Lupe. He wants to smoke with Kendrick, but he just wants to have a real reason. Lupe having trouble selling out his tour because he keeps hating on Kendrick. Didn't even know Lupe was on tour. Oh, new Killer Mike album dropped today. Good look, Drake. I didn't know. Y'all got so much music to catch up on. And lastly, that I see in the chat. Oh, that was the last one. Mural is the most lyrical rap song ever. Mural, Dumb It Down, Failure. The Lupe song, Failure. That's really the one. That's the one. So anyways, yo, I always start off the chat by saying, yo, this is going to be a short one. This is going to be 1 hour, and this shit goes on and on. But I appreciate y'all, yo. The chat gets going, and we get going. We have a good time, man. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Yo, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to try to do my next video probably before Tuesday. It depends what, shout out to What's the Dirt. I already got something queued up for when What's the Dirt drops his Family Matter reaction. I'm going to meet the Grams, Dad. I'm going to meet the Grams, his Family Matters, and then I'm going to react to the What's the Dirt. It just depends. I don't know when he's going to drop it. You guys saw him in the chat earlier. He didn't give us no hints when he's going to drop it, but when he drops it, I got something queued up. Then I'm going to actually react to his reaction. And then I got the haters' perspective on Drake. I'm going to drop that too. So, yo, that's all I got for tonight. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.